Wait, wait, Ethan Klein and Hasan are
not a
debating?
stretch, man.
None of those people
This
are
is
me.
live.
So I don't know why.
Let's stop with the
we've
value
devolved
judgment
the
thing. Like, you can't make a
conversation
decision.
away
It's
from-
Let's
stupid
go.
as
Hold on,
hell.
RP. Watch this.
Wait,
Let me
I
ask-
sound stupid as hell? What?
No, when you go, I can't draw. I'm not them. I mean, it's.
I mean, I don't know why you're asking me what their genuine decision making.
Why would I want my
is,
best
and I don't
friend
know.
iDubbbz to be
I can't tell you what
anti-Semitic?
their
Why
process
would I
was,
want
but
my
I don't
best
think
friend
it's an
iDubbbz to be
issue.
anti-Semitic? Why would I want that? You think I enjoy my friends and people around me
Can I
being
be honest?
anti-Semitic?
Do you want me to tell you why?
I would love.
I don't think you're
to
gonna
hear-
like the
Yeah,
answer.
this is gonna be good. Go ahead.
Okay. You want everyone that has criticized you to be anti-Semitic so that it makes you feel better about your position. It's not your own personal positions that you have explained to people that come across like you're using anti-Semitism as a shield to deflect criticisms against Israel.
This is
And that if they
what
are
an
actually
analysis.
out and about anti-Semites, that'll make you feel a little bit more comfortable, like
Yes.
you won the argument in your mind, and that your community would also finally go, oh yeah, you're right. You're a permanent victim in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
But because there's an unimaginable amount of anti-Semitism everywhere online, it comes across as shocking that you laser in on what you perceive are dog whistles when they're very clearly not even dog whistles at all. And I'll give you an example of this. Something that you did that I found very funny was you tweeted, or you don't tweet, sorry. You Instagram posted about my Theo Von podcast appearance.
Sure did.
My Theo Von podcast appearance where you were like, oh, I can't believe Theo Von didn't actually ask him about his like dangerous anti-Semitism or any number of different things in the conversation, including, I think you talked about Rick Scott. Now, we did actually talk. Theo Von and I did actually talk about
Hold
Rick
that
Scott.
clip
I'm
up,
sure you didn't
Hasan.
see that. But hold on, let me finish. But what I found very strange about that
We're back.
was the fact that Theo Von, and I didn't even know this at the time,
Go get his
the day
dog.
prior to me, had actually interviewed Candace
How's
Owens.
this? Are they
I think
pissed?
you and I both agree that Candace Owens is an anti-Semite, right?
I think that he was on that 1-2 punch.
Okay.
What? Bow, bang.
Do you think
You hit him
do
with
you
that
think,
anti-Semitism,
Ethan,
boy.
No, Ethan. As
Think
your
he was
former
on the
podcast
vibe.
co-host, as your former podcast co-host, do you think that I am anti-Semitic? One, and if you think I am, do you think I'm as anti-Semitic as Candace Owens?
So yes, I think you're
More.
anti-Semitic at this point. I'm comfortable saying that. Are you
At
as
this
anti?
point.
Well, let me finish.
Can you, okay,
Let
then
me
let's
finish.
move
You
on
asked
from
me two
Trogan,
questions.
and let's address
No.
what
You
you
asked
think I'm
me.
doing that's
Hold the
anti-Semitic.
phone. You asked me two questions together. I'm going to answer both. You said, "Do you
Way
think I'm
more
anti-Semitic?"
anti-Semitic.
After talking to you so far today, I can say unreservedly yes. I think that you are more anti-Semitic than Candace Owens? No. But I think your form of anti-Semitism is
Dude, he's
way
so
more
retarded.
destructive and sinister. Candace Owens is
So
outright.
you think I'm
Hold on
anti-Semitic
there,
now?
Hassan. This is an important question.
You think I'm
Dude,
anti-Semitic
why would they
now?
have this unmoderated?
Because 2 days
I'm
ago
going
you
to
said I
answer.
wasn't.
I'm gonna answer.
Okay.
Your
Or
form of
yesterday, I think, or 2
anti-Semitism
days ago?
is way more insidious because it's silent, it's tricky. She's out there just saying
acting
what she
like a
believes,
Jew.
and I respect her for that. Nick Fuentes is just out there. Nobody knows that what's his stance on Israel. Candace Owens' stance on Israel. But you're tricky. What you do is deny
Nick
the heritage of Middle Eastern Jews, stuff like that. You accuse them of being always the oppressor,
What?
always. Everything.
can you
And by
point
the way,
to-
you spent the first part of this debate calling me insane for what I think most people would perceive as blatant, obvious anti-Semitic
Ethan, I think-
acts.
I don't think most people would look at what you're doing right now and
Let's
think
not
that
worry
this
about
is
that.
a
Let's-
sign of mental sanity.
Well, we'll have time to poll the audience afterwards. So let's continue.
Okay. All right. Well, look. Going back to the Theo Von situation, and
That's
you
crazy.
said- so you
That's
said I'm
crazy,
anti-Semitic,
bro.
right? Yesterday,
Why does he look
you
like
said,
that?
or 2 days
Adderall?
ago,
That's not
in the
Adderall.
aftermath of
I'm
the,
on Adderall.
Same Cedar
He's
conversation.
on
You said I'm not
Tourette's
anti-Semitic.
and
So
meth.
what has changed in that process? Is it this conversation
Yes.
that you and I had?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Got it. All right.
Here's the clip, by the way. You accused me of not.
And that it won't, is it?
You accused me of not mentioning that Theo Von did not ask you about Rick Scott. Let's go back and watch the clip.
Because,
No,
I
like,
said
of what
I
you
didn't
just
say.
made.
Bro,
in the
you
clip. I
literally
said
look
in
like
your
the dude from
Instagram
Beetlejuice. That's
story.
crazy. The
On your
small head guy.
Ethan, I use my words very carefully. I said in the Instagram story that you
Small
posted. I
head
don't watch
guy,
your stream
Beetlejuice.
that much. I
Dude,
don't.
they need a moderator. This
I
is
only see,
In the
terrible.
like,
waiting room,
bits and pieces of
bro.
it.
That's crazy. Do you see the resemblance?
What?
You're this guy. From
Dude, you're
Beetlejuice
making
in
fun
this
of him 'cause
photo.
he
You have, like, the same
mugs
coat and
you.
shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
that's you are a comedian.
I sure am, buddy. I see you laughing. All right. Anyway, so you accused me of misrepresenting what happened. Let's play the clip.
Right, $800 billion of Medicare and Medicaid that they want to cut. Mike Johnson goes on stage, says, goes on Caitlin Collins on CNN and says, there's a lot of fraud happening. There's not fraud happening in Medicare and Medicaid on the point of the recipient.
Right.
It's happening on the point of the providers.
Right.
And that's why I got banned recently on Twitch yesterday. Because
Sorry about that one day.
So you just got back.
Yeah, Libs of TikTok was like posting about how I said something
Jewish,
and they misconstrued it as though it was a call to action to assassinate a sitting
why are you showing me this?
Well, you're saying I didn't bring this up, or I'm saying that Theo didn't bring this up. He didn't. You brought it up, framed it in your own way to basically preempt a tough question.
Ethan, I said on the Instagram story that you posted about me, Dan, can you switch it back to Ethan?
Don't switch it back, Dan.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I'm switching it back. 1 second.
All right. Thanks, Dan.
I know, man.
This looks ridiculous on my end.
Does, buddy.
I'm sorry. Okay. So yeah, this was
and it's not just because of the video.
They didn't switch it. But the post I was referring to was make sure Theo knows how you feel about hosting a terrorist adjacent content creator. And I believe there was another post about it or something. But
does he not like that side of his face? Why do you say to switch the camera?
It's irresponsible to platform you and not ask you difficult questions.
Yeah. So the question I have for you once again is like he had Candace Owens on.
Where's the roots?
Do you feel like that's a little bit more damaging in terms of spreading potentially anti-Semitic narratives? Or do you think that anti-Semitism is when you feel bad personally, and that could be any number of different things that I've done in any given moment?
Yes, I think you were just as bad as her in your own special way, and that's why you guys were hitting that same flavor.
Candace Owens,
dude.
Anti-Semitism in my own special way.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Very good.
Cool.
Very good. So let me ask you a question. Hasan, can I ask you a question?
Can you now officially not talk about like Frogan or anyone else and tell me why I'm anti-Semitic?
Well, we're kind of getting
2
there.
days ago, you said I wasn't.
Hate Jews.
But also for a year.
You're repeating yourself.
Well, I am, because
he said
haven't answered this question.
He kind of said he respects Nick.
2 times. The reason that I'm saying you're anti-Semitic is because how you responded to my question at the beginning of this interview.
Ethan, for an entire year, you called me a virulent anti-Semite.
Thank you, Jovian.
Never did.
Hold on, I'll play this after. This is heated.
I have actually went back and checked.
You on it.
I had said that you spread anti-Semitism and stuff, but I never called you an anti-Semitic. I went back and checked. You're
I was
lying.
just simply spreading anti-Semitism.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difference.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Is about Habibi, not Sabr. You're conceding to the framing? Yeah, we're not conceding to anything. I don't want to even talk about the tier list anymore. Stop it. Okay.
Okay, let me ask my turn. Do you think it's appropriate to accuse? Do you think it's appropriate to accuse any Jewish person you disagree with of working with the ADL?
No.
No.
Here, for example, is someone using it to anti-Semitic.
Yes.
Ethan Klein and ADL in
yes.
unison.
Hasan, let me finish. You're getting ahead of yourself, buddy.
Yes, I do. I do think that's
you're getting ahead of yourself, man.
That's a valid thing to not only speculate, but also I stand on that for sure.
Hasan, I'm getting there. You're getting ahead of yourself, buddy. Here's an example of it being used in an anti-Semitic way. I'm sure you'll agree. Timeline on that doesn't make a lot of sense.
I heard you in the ADL.
What is this?
This is your fan who ran up on me on Rodeo.
Who the fuck is this guy? My fan?
Yeah.
This is your boy, Hasan.
You remember.
Wait, this is your boy.
Is this the guy?
Yeah, you remember.
Wait. No, this is the guy that you claimed was my fan, right? He was calling me the fucking
I mean, there's a clip of being like, yo, I love this dude. Anyway, who cares if he's your fan or not?
No. Hold on.
No.
You brought this dude
It doesn't matter.
Well, it doesn't matter.
I'm showing him as an example of you.
It does matter.
Okay, fine. He's not a fan. I don't care.
You brought him up. Wait, what do you mean you don't care?
If I brought him up, Hasan, if I brought him up, let me finish my point.
He's not a fan of mine.
Save
why
it.
Did you?
This
why
is
did
good.
You make it
I like
seem like
this.
That person
I like
was a fan
this.
of mine then.
Let me get to there. Okay, you asked me.
No,
it's my turn to ask a question. Just because I brought him up doesn't give you the space to interject.
Is it because he rolled up to me and tried to fucking clout farm? Is that why?
Yes.
At
okay, thank you very
where
much.
I was very clearly disturbed by his presence.
Hasan, I think you know where I'm going, and I think you're scared. Yeah, let me.
Can you answer the question?
Let me.
Why did you falsely claim that this fucking
Because he's
random
on
dude
video
who
saying
does
he
not
loves
like
you, that you're
me
his favorite
is a
person in the
fan of
world? What do you
mine?
mean?
Didn't you use? Didn't wait?
All right, Hasan.
Didn't
Here you go,
use
buddy.
him approaching
Here
you?
we go. You wanted it. I've got it.
Approaching you.
Can I give you a hug, bro?
I'm so
I
sweaty, bro.
love you.
I'm so
I
sweaty.
love you, bro.
I love you,
I
bro.
have to interview you. You're like my hero, bro.
You're the GOAT.
You're the coolest guy in the world, bro.
Wow, how crazy.
You look gay in that.
I'm fucking. Is this another? Is this another hysterical delusion?
Yes, it is, and I'm gonna explain to you exactly why. Because
Wow,
we spend a
dude, I
good
love
deal
you.
of
You're the GOAT,
encampment.
bro.
We spend a good deal of our time in the encampment. If you watch the unedited full live stream, we spent a good deal of the
seen it.
entirety of the encampment running away from him because he kept
listen.
trying to ask me dumbass fucking questions.
Okay, but that's
for
got
his
nothing to do with
own
he's a fan.
Dumbass.
Listen,
for his own
Hasan,
dumbass
please.
podcast.
You're derailing this, and I need to.
I'm
make
not derailing it.
You
it's not called
absolutely
derailing
are.
when I'm telling you I was there and I'm telling you
Okay,
the situation.
very good.
You are nefariously making it seem as though this person is a massive
Do I
fan
need
of
to
mine.
play the clip
He was just
again?
trying to cloud chase.
I'll play it again. I'm fuck.
You can play the
Have
clip
a
again.
ghost. What?
Oh my God,
Girl,
bro,
I had
I love you,
subtitles.
Hasan. Can I give you a hug,
Can
bro?
you play the clip where he openly admits he doesn't know who I am and asks people around?
There's too much audio.
You're my hero, bro. I love
You're
you.
the coolest guy in the world.
You're the coolest guy in the world.
Hold on, I think I look gay in that one.
I think I look gay in that one.
3, 2,
Ethan.
1.
Ethan.
Yes, sir.
Ethan.
Hold up. Try that again. I think I look gay in that one.
You okay?
If you think he was a fan of mine, why'd you call him a Sneeko fan when you interviewed him?
Because he's both. I mean, surely there's
A lot of crossover.
Oh, there's a crossover.
Do I need to play the video again?
Okay,
I'll
so
do it again. Fuck it.
My
Yeah.
producer
I'll
and
play
my
it
camera
again.
op, March. My producer and my camera op, March,
Can I give you a hug, bro?
I'm so
was
sweaty, bro.
there.
I'm so sweaty.
And he's in the
bro.
chat right
I have
now.
to interview you. You're my hero, bro. I love you, bro. You're the coolest guy in the
Ethan.
world, bro. Hold on, I think I look gay.
Listen, he might not be a fan, but you can't accuse me of being delusional for saying that.
You
That's-
are delusional.
Okay, very good.
You
I'm
are.
delusional. Let me get to my point, please.
What,
So,
am I-
I'm not
what am I,
even-
crazy
I'm not even asking you to
Jew?
endorse this guy. I'm just simply showing you.
I don't endorse
I know
that.
you
and
don't.
He's not a
I'm
fan
an
of mine.
insane,
So why did you
neurotic
claim
Jew?
that he was a fan of mine? Because he
I'll
fucking
play it
clout
again.
You're saying
chased
this
me.
I feel
on?
like we're running
He
in
was
circles,
clout
but I'll play
chasing
the
at a
clip
fucking
again.
Palestinian encampment? That's why? That's all it takes for you?
No, it was when he said, "You're the GOAT. You're my hero. I love you."
He didn't know who I was. He was just saying that so we could fucking ask for
Called
an
the
interview
Glazer,
for his
dude.
PUA podcast.
Okay, who cares? I don't
Called
care.
you a glazer.
So let me
Wait,
move
now
on.
you don't
Do you
care.
want to talk about this
It
for
seems
2
like-
hours, or do you want to actually
it
have a
seems like
conversation?
this is a wait. Well, hold on. You can't just say you don't care all of a sudden when you look like a fucking asshole for falsely claiming that some random
That is
person
crazy.
fucked you is a fan of mine.
Dude, that is crazy. He just keeps going. Well, he says he's a fan of yours. It seems like he's a fan of yours. And he's like, he's clearly not. Okay, well, whatever. Who cares? But he clearly is.
Concede. Yes, very
Don't
good.
you think that's a big point of contention? Don't you
Oh
feel
my-
like it's a big point of
Concede.
contention?
I concede. I want to show you an example of.
Do you see my side of this though?
I think
Because like
no,
a
you're being
random
dishonest.
a random Sneeko fan comes up to me,
A random Hasan
wants the
fan
clout
comes up
chase,
to you.
and you wants the clout chase, and you turn around and you say that he is a fan of mine to prove a point, to make a false point that to imply that I'm sending.
Now you're saying he's a
people to
dishonest
harass
Jew.
you.
Wow.
That's
Do you
not what I
feel like
implied.
That's appropriate.
That's a
Wow.
total lie. I have never accused you of anything of
The
this sort.
anti-Semitism.
That is an
So
outright horrific.
You did not imply that this person that
bad
was a
faith
fan
lie.
of mine
Yes,
was
I did.
actually harassing you.
Yes. When's it? Now that's a big lie.
This is so fun because this is just gonna be H3H3 like doing every like stereotype ever, and we'll watch it and Hasan can't mention it because it's like then he'd be anti-Semitic.
Did he not harass you?
Did you send him to harass me? No.
Did he harass you and then
Yes.
you imply in your
Okay, who
video
cares,
that he was
bro?
a fan of mine?
Go ahead, when you're done.
leading the
Go- go-
audience to
I'll
believe.
wait.
Leading the audience to believe. Here, we have a clip, by the way, Dan. If you want to play this supposed fan of mine, since you guys are playing clips over there.
By the way, this was
you can
a
probably
while
play
ago.
it.
He
It's
turned on you
timestamped.
when he saw that you support trans rights. I know. He spoke ill of you.
No. Even before he
Bro,
actually
who cares?
meets me.
I'm not even mad. I don't care about this guy.
No, well, seemingly you care enough about it that you brought him up here and you used him.
You didn't
Listen,
go
he's a
ahead.
fan of
Explain
yours,
why
but
I'm
I don't
showing you.
care
used
if
him in
he's
the past
not.
to act
But
like
he
I was
is.
sending
Bro,
hate
you're
your way.
terrified because you know
we
where
don't
this is
care.
going.
I have no idea where this is going. This has been a journey.
Well, how about you let me fucking speak, and then we can figure out. We can take the journey together.
Can you play this clip though?
Screw
So
drinking
this
glass.
clip is just an example.
But never.
Not that you're endorsing him. Not that he's a fan.
Can you play? Dan, I sent you a clip.
I passed it along. It's out of my hands.
It's the
I'll play it.
introduction of this
Yeah,
character onto the stream where he's like, "Who's this guy?"
I'll play it. Yeah.
Pothead or Potman. Is that it? Hey.
I could be on it. Are you guys doing interviews? I'm Palestinian. I know I look Jewish.
He doesn't.
Oh, no, we're just streaming.
Israeli. I look like Israeli.
We're just, the guy, normally the answer would be yes, but he's busy
The
right
fedora's
What do you guys
crazy.
do?
The fedora and the
Oh, live streaming?
the sweater and everything is insane.
You're not even in this clip, bro. What are you talking about?
What is he
Not even
wearing?
present.
Later.
You're out.
What?
You're out playing with swastika swords or
Yeah.
something. You're not even in this clip.
Oh,
Dude, why? Chat, I think he's showing it
'Cause
on
he
his
hates
side.
Jews.
You're
I
not
played
seeing
it.
the clip. Yes. Yeah. He's
It's really
showing the clip.
okay.
That is the first introduction of this character onto the broadcast, and he doesn't know who the fuck I am. He just sees cameras and goes, "Oh, I would like to do interviews
did
with
have
this
an
person who
NPC
is
outfit.
famous." It seems that was the whole point. The reason why I showed you that is because he was never a fucking fan.
bro
And
was
then
randomly
when
generated.
he saw the full extent of my viewpoints, he started calling me the F slur. He's a Sneeko fan.
Hasan, in that clip, he doesn't see you. You're not there.
Ethan, he is a clout chaser and
Fine,
not a
bro.
fan.
I don't care. Who cares? Let me ask you a question.
I do care because
okay, very good.
I do care because you have made an inference
Oh my
that is
God, dude.
erroneous.
Just
You
admit
are
he's not a
dragging
fan
your
of
feet
him.
on this
That
topic,
is-
bro. It's getting ridiculous. Can we
You've made
please
an
move
inference
on?
that is ridiculous.
This clip you sent
and
didn't prove
also
me wrong
false.
at all. You're not there. And you were never there, Hasan. Okay, let's continue, please.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this is
His
an example
face
of
is so freaky.
someone who I think is anti-Semitic. You probably agree with me on that, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. He's not a fan of
Yeah,
yours.
I think no. I think that guy.
Yeah.
That I mean, from what I've seen,
Yeah.
any number of different things I've seen from that dude, I think he's like a right wing.
Ethan sent the guy.
dating coach or
Yeah, that was
something.
Yeah, he
Mossad.
is dating money 101, baby.
That was Mossad.
Like and
Yeah.
sub. All right, so here he is using the ADL. He accuses me of being in the ADL, and I'll play it. Operation.
Okay.
I don't know, but I heard you survived it, and I heard you survived the Holocaust.
That timeline on that doesn't make a lot of sense.
I heard you in the ADL, bro.
The ADL? No,
What's
I'm
the
not.
tattoo on
Alright,
his
so
chest?
He says,
Does he
I
have
heard you're in the
armor?
ADL, bro, which, like,
Bro
obviously
has
is,
scales
you know,
on
I
his
perceive that as
chest.
anti-Semitic.
I don't think you're in the ADL, Ethan. If that's what you're gonna say.
Well, you said, and I'll quote a tweet that you made.
You're a member of the Anti-Defamation
Go ahead.
League.
You said,
It was a
I'll
super
quote,
villain.
he worked with the ADL to make Zionists a protected class on Twitch. Now, that is an outright lie.
I don't think it's an outright lie.
I worked with the
you took
ADL.
credit over it, didn't you?
Sorry. I worked with the ADL. What does that mean?
Yeah, as in
Dude,
like
he
worked
so did.
alongside. I don't think
Yeah.
you're in the ADL.
Oh, that's what you meant when you said I worked with the ADL.
You're a member of the
I
league.
worked beside
we know.
them, just incidentally together. You didn't mean
He
that
did,
I worked
yeah.
with
No, I
them
do
privately to
think
get
that,
people
yes.
banned. Of course not.
No, they were like
No,
clipping
I do think
stuff.
that.
Didn't
and
you
stand
say
by
you
that.
choose your
I
words
think
very
that you worked
carefully?
alongside the ADL.
You just told
to
me
draw up
briefly ago. You
concerns.
choose your words very carefully, Hasan.
Not always. I'm
Oh,
famously.
okay, we're walking that back.
I am-
Sometimes
Take Tourette's.
sometimes I
Bro,
speak
just
outside of my
pretending.
mouth when I say you work with the
9/11,
ADL.
so-
Here you are again repeating the lie with Steiny on video. Go ahead. You had time
Constantly
to.
come after me when his knows I'm not anti-Semitic and making these inferences that I am and like partnering with like the ADL and
Partnering with the ADL. You want to unpack that one there, buddy?
Yeah. Again, working
Oh.
with, partnering with the ADL. That is precisely
I
what
have
took
never
place.
spoken to the ADL, so what does that mean?
I'm not saying you directed the ADL
Do you know
to take
how
action.
silly you
Well,
are?
actually,
When
you know
Leo
what? I am
Frank
kinda
was
saying
hung.
that. I am implying that you
Terrifying.
directed the ADL to take action.
Well, that's
you are a prominent.
that's a
you are
defamatory
prominent
claim that has
content
zero
creator.
proof. And
You are
frankly, it sounds a
prominent
little
content
Jewish
creator.
conspiratorial.
If I thought that you worked for the ADL, I wouldn't
I've
say
not
you worked
spoken
with
to the ADL. There-
I would have said
You think I'm a sneaky conspiring Jew or something, huh?
Hassan,
this is that.
What are you
I do not
saying?
take
work with the
credit
ADL.
for these bans.
Hassan, I do not work with the ADL.
You
work
were
with
a part of the
Jonathan
mass
Greenblatt.
smear campaign.
That is
with
not
your
working with the
YouTube
ADL. Would you
videos
say that,
falsely
I got nothing to do with
claimed
the
that this-
ADL. Blame Frogan for doing a racist fucking panel at TwitchCon that became a viral
That
story
wasn't
independent
a
of
racist
me.
panel, Ethan. Just like cracker is not an anti-white term, except public
Don't say
pressure
that.
clearly works on
That's
Twitch,
our
and
word.
they make erroneous bans when they don't want people coming after them.
Here's
Twitch
Frogan
has
repeating the
paid and
same lie that she
capitulated
heard
to
from
public
you.
pressure
You're
on
acting
numerous
like you have this with
instances.
the last
This is
year
what
and
she
a half.
learned
You
from
did
you.
everything in your power to push people to bully and harass me, including weaponizing propaganda organizations such as the ADL to get me banned off Twitch because I made a
So
joke.
she said I weaponized the ADL. You said I partnered with the ADL. You said I worked with the ADL, but
Yes.
you didn't mean that I spoke to
Yes.
them. You just meant that we were magically skipping along and happened to just, without even seeing each other, just working together in perfect harmony and love. And by the way, I'm pretty sure you're implying that I worked directly with them on this.
No, I don't
Okay,
think you
well,
worked
you
directly
doubled
with
down on
them.
it. You said that you do believe that, and I just want to let you know that that is a
No, I don't think you directly work
with
with them. I think your goals are aligned on this. Yes, and
that, but then
you're
for Mr. Precise words, say that. Don't say you're partnered with the ADL. Do you understand? You said partnered with
think
the
you're
ADL.
pursuing Leo
Me,
Frank's
a Jewish man, you accused
vengeance.
without any evidence at all of being partnered with the ADL.
Ethan,
You're now
you
trying to
admitted
rewrite
you-
history and
you
say I
admitted
said
that
you
you
were
got the
working
streamers banned.
besides
You
them.
took
You
ownership
are a
over it.
liar.
What are you talking
You are
about?
a virulent fucking liar.
And anti-Semite.
Ethan, did you or did you not
virulent.
take ownership over the ban?
Or did he just say virulent?
I think, yeah, I might have.
You're a virulent
Does that mean that I'm
anti-Semite.
working with the ADL?
You're a virulent dickhead.
Hey,
dude.
Hasan, can I ask you a question? Are you working with the Neo-Nazi Party of America? Because they're also anti-Zionist. No, seriously. Are you working with the
He's
Neo-Nazi
in
group of
league
America
with
who's
the
also
Reuters.
anti-Zionist?
Ethan,
Do you
have
work
I
with
ever
them?
taken
Are you
credit?
affiliated with them? Are you
They
partnered-
actually work with
are
the
you partnered
ADL.
with
For an
neo-Nazis?
anti-Semitic
Or
incident
or
to the
do you guys
neo-Nazi-
happen to have the same
Okay,
goal
wait, no,
and
I
are
have a question for
completely
you.
related?
The ADL actually pays
Here's
them.
a parallel for you. Have I taken credit
Ugh,
for
Jesus, man.
a neo-Nazi anti-Semitic incident that took place? Because if the answer is yes,
Halfback
if
four.
neo-Nazis
Swastika sword, baby.
actually engaged in an action, neo-Nazis actually, not like your fucking hallucinations, something that we all agree. Like neo-Nazis did an anti-Semitic incident and I took credit for it and I said, this is awesome. I'm glad that it happened. I made numerous videos so that
That
they
actually
would
be
do
part
this.
of a mosque.
Yes,
I was
you
on
would
the
be
tier list,
valid
bro.
in
Are you a
saying
I was
terrorist?
literally
You look like
targeting
one.
me. I was
Especially
on the
compa-
tier list. Why
Especially
wouldn't I respond?
considering Ethan.
I don't have to be a
Ethan.
member of ADL to respond to someone
Ethan,
harassing me. Are you
Listen
Yeah,
to
fucking
you
my
did,
words,
Zephyroni.
please. Listen to my words.
I'm trying, but
Okay.
it's just fucking
Listen to
lies
my
and
words.
filth and like empty air.
From your perspective, my association as
Hallucinations? Is that
10
anti-Semitic dog
year
whistle? You saying
fighter
I have
of
schizophrenia?
anti-Semitism, my association from your perspective with anti-Semitism is like something that is so laughable that I don't even know how to
Good.
describe. Like you're like, oh, it's
You're
a swastika
denying
sword, but then
Jewish
you admit that it's not a
experience.
swastika sword. That's how loose this
It looks
association
like
is.
a
But
okay,
on the other hand, I
stupid.
can't say that you have worked alongside
That's
the
not what you said.
ADL in getting
You said I'm
streamers
partnered
banned.
with.
That's
Partnered with.
anti-Semitic?
You are
took
lying.
credit
You are
for it, my
rewriting.
man.
You are not taking accountability. You said I'm partnered with the ADL.
Ethan, I can't
Do
take
you
accountability for your
He's gotta log in
hallucinations.
on the
Do
website.
you think that the normal, reasonable person watching that will infer that we were just coincidentally working the same, or that I was working directly with them?
What do you think a
What do you
reasonable
think the
person
average
would
person
infer
would
when you
conclude
take
from
credit
saying
for the
I'm
bans?
partnered with the ADL?
What do you think a normal, reasonable person would infer?
Hasan's, like,
when
not
they
good
hear
at
you
keeping
it
online
on track. Literally
make
gaslighting me. It's
numerous
so
videos
obvious
what you're
demanding
doing.
the bans of Twitch
Oh
streamers.
my gosh.
And then after they are banned, you say,
no
"I'm
way.
glad that they got banned. I take credit for it."
Are you
What would a
kidding
normal,
me?
reasonable person
I was
infer
on the
from
tier
that?
list, dude.
He's literally
I was
going to
responding to
accuse
them. It
Hasan
wasn't
of
like
what
I'm fucking,
he's doing
it wasn't like I
live.
went out of my way to get them banned. I responded to them. I was on the tier
Oh
list.
my gosh.
There's been 3 instances, I think, of, in my opinion, very credible
carefully observing the hand
accusations
movements.
of anti-Semitism. You've
Yeah, I
accused
think
me
so,
of
Kokichi.
hallucinating all 3 now, which is very convenient.
No,
and
because
also,
they're not credible.
And
We
also
are not in
anti-Semitic.
agreement. These
They-
are not credible allegations of anti-Semitism. These are hysterical hallucinations of a person who desperately wants all of his critics to be anti-Semites.
so I'm a
he
crazy,
can
neurotic
feel
I'm so
comfortable
glad
Jew.
this is on record.
in the unique position that he has created for himself.
I'm so glad this
Fucking
is on record.
gaslighter, asshole.
So you think
yeah,
that
I'm glad you.
Jerk.
Yes.
So you think that you think a reasonable person would hear you say he's partnered with the ADL and not think that I was working directly with them?
I think a reasonable person will hear your own words.
When
and
I heard
think
that, I thought you were an
probably worked
employee there, but
directly
also-
inside of the
Have I ever
ADL.
mentioned the
I didn't even
ADL?
make that inference.
I thought you had a desk at the ADL, but that was more so because you're Jewish than what Hasan was saying.
Mention the
band.
ADL, Hassan. Answer the
It
question.
doesn't matter. You took credit for the band that the ADL pressured.
Who's the guys today,
Do
Jimbo?
I
Shiloh.
ever mention the ADL in my entire
mean-
fucking career? Actually, I mentioned them once, but I didn't even know what they were. Frankly, if you have the thing, it was even. Did I ever?
Yeah, it's a clip where you are saying,
Okay.
I did that shit. I'll fucking take credit for it. You know who did that shit? The ADL did. You are taking credit for something that the ADL did. I'm not even making that inference.
Well,
You're
they
saying,
attacked me.
Which one do you think? What do you think the average
you
person
sound
would think
so
in this
silly, bro.
situation when you are saying that you did that shit?
Can they get
and
back
it's
into
the
being
ADL's
anti-Semitic?
pressure that caused these people to be banned for such
Or
a
anti-Semitic
silly. I don't
canards,
care.
please.
Listen,
not anti-Semitic thing
listen.
at all.
I
What's
was
a
being silly.
canard?
They attacked me. I responded. Do I know? Do
Oh,
I
you
know?
see-
You beating it under the desk?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Listen.
Okay. Well,
Listen,
all right. I guess
dude.
we can
Well,
move
do
on
I
then.
think
Now
I
you're
got
being
them
silly.
banned? I don't know. Who knows? You know. I think that
Yeah, you got a Jewish content creator alongside multiple Arab content creators banned off the platform for 30 days.
There's a
because you
reason they
cried
call him
about it, and then
token,
the
my
ADL
friend.
actually reacted.
you spend time
because
being
they
a
saw it as
token, you're
great
gonna get
opportunity.
spent.
But it was just silly. You know, fuck them.
You want to cash in on your Jewish friends anymore? Or can we move on?
Am I what?
Would you like to cash in on your Jewish friends more, or can we move on?
Oh,
Cash in on my Jewish friends.
That's right.
You're trading
You know
us
any
in
Jewish
for
people that aren't anti-Zionist?
gold.
Yes.
Who?
I'm not going to
Who?
review. I don't want to. They're normies.
Okay.
I don't want to dox
yeah,
them.
you're lying. You're
No, I'm
surrounded.
not.
Yes,
I'm
you
not
are.
lying.
You're absolutely lying.
Dog, I live in West Hollywood. You think I'm not around Zionist Jews? What are you talking about?
Do you pass Jews on the street? Yes. Are you friends with?
No, I'm friends. Yes,
Okay.
I
Very good.
am.
I don't believe
And
you.
they've treated me with much more dignity
Name
than
them.
you have, as a matter of fact.
Well, yeah, because they're not on
Surprisingly
the
enough. We
receiving
can have
end
a
of an
more normal
insane fucking
conversation.
harassment
I can have a more normal
campaign.
conversation
you're lying.
than you, seemingly.
All right, so you think that
They would most likely
just
laugh
to recap
at all of this.
just to
they're
recap here,
watching.
so we can move on. I mean, did the random Zionist Jews that are treated you so kindly, did they have CPS show up to their house or skulls sent to their house?
Ethan, I didn't do that.
Ethan.
I didn't say you did that.
Bro's
I
mailing the
don't know why you're
skulls.
bringing that up.
I
To
know
their
you
house.
do,
It,
but
that
you're
has
acting
nothing
up.
to do with me.
Part
I'm not
of your
in
shtick,
support of
Hasan,
that.
is acting obtuse when you're caught in the corner.
Okay. All right. You've dominated the conversation so far. I think we should get back to some stuff that
I agree. Let's just summarize.
No. Look, can we just?
You're an
get back to
anti-Semitic
the-
asshole.
Like you
I
see
just
the
want to put a cap
genocide.
on this. Just a cap.
and making these
You're doing the
inferences
thing that
I
I'm
am,
so
and, like,
critical of you on.
partnering
okay?
with like the ADL and
You said so. Just to put a cap on this, and we'll move on. You said
Who's
I
that?
quote partnered with the ADL,
Oh,
which
okay.
you now claim was just a was. You didn't mean that I was working with them.
was just-
You mean that we have the same goal. Okay, very good. We'll see how that plays.
Sorry.
Go ahead. What's your question?
Okay.
That is so insane. Imagine like just doing that, just being a freak.
You okay?
It's interesting because you're currently doing the thing that I'm criticizing you on, where you are looking at a situation that you recognize is a
It is
genocide,
like that, emo.
and your only consideration and your only concern.
That's not my only concern. I
revolves
care about
around-
multiple things, my friend.
Revolves. Yes, you can, but these are really stupid things to care about.
I mean,
Ethan.
that's easy for
And
you to say. You're the one being accused of it.
Yeah, he
Let's
has,
just
he has
let's
Tourette's.
ask the
Bad,
accused how
No.
serious their crime is.
bad Tourette's.
Fucking brilliant.
Ethan.
O.J. Simpson, do you think that this is a serious court
Do you
case?
think that
No, I
the
don't. Well,
Sabra
fucking
Hummus's
there it
shit
is. Let's
tier-
let him
Do you
free.
think that the Sabra Hummus's shit tier is akin to O.J. Simpson killing someone?
No, obviously not. You're being obtuse
Then why
again.
are you bringing up stupid fucking
Because you're accused.
parallels?
You are saying that the accused, right?
This is retarded.
Can-
this is
can-
so
can
retarded.
dictate
Can they talk
how
about whether or
serious
not
the
he's an
accusations are.
anti-Semite?
Okay. All right.
Bring
Ethan,
up his anti-Semitic
I'm
canard.
you
partnered
have
with
in
the ADL.
past-
Remember what you
have
said.
in the past talked about your pro-Palestinian bona fides. You have
What do you mean
talked about how you
bona fides?
gave
Can you-
my fundraiser. What?
Sorry, what do you mean by bona fides?
Like you've claimed that you are a stalwart ally of the Palestinian cause.
Correct.
You tried to also say this to Sam Cedar as well.
Mm-hmm.
You brought forward the fact that you had given $6,500 in your context puke
Mm-hmm.
that you did as a further indication that you are pro-Palestinian. even though you then turned around and actually criticized additional fundraisers that had taken place, like the Creators for Palestine charity that generated $1.3 million, including the fundraiser that you initially had given $6,500 to as a reason for why you were such a staunch ally. Why did you turn around and say that pro-Palestinian fundraisers are actually completely irrelevant in the grand scheme of things and completely useless? Do you think that pro-Palestinian charities are simply there to make yourself feel like you're pro-Palestine? Do you feel like $6,500 was enough for you to spend the rest of the year actively deplatforming pro-Palestinian content creators?
I'll answer your question. So I claimed when talking about, now, by the way, this is something I criticize you for, which is, being obtuse, mischaracterizing arguments, and basically just being a prolific liar. So here's what the conversation was about.
Too stupid,
right?
Yellow.
I was talking about how when you're talking about activism, raising money isn't the most important thing because it can only do so much. There's other ways to do
like what?
Effective activism, like protesting, et cetera, working with Palestinian organizations. So I'm just saying, my point was not that.
But you wanted me to be deplatformed
Let me
as a
finish.
virulent anti-Semite, and I've done all of those things.
My point was that not that raising money is bad or dumb or pointless, as you erroneously claim I said. My point was that it's not the most effective thing in the world, and there's other things. It's probably like the least effective form of advocacy you can do. That was my opinion.
I don't think that's the case, and I don't think that the Palestinians that
What's not the case?
those,
what I said or what I claim?
No, your claim is wrong.
Okay, that's fine.
In terms of the fundraisers not being
What
important.
if you think Hasan is winning too? If you think
so,
Ethan
we've
is.
established that.
All
We've
right,
established that you claim to be
thoughts.
pro-Palestine, and yet you've spent all of the genocide coverage criticizing
attacking people that harass me,
fundraising, creating, working with Palestinian organizations.
I never said it's not important.
Interviewing Palestinians from Gaza.
Hasan, being an advocate for Palestine does not absolve you of criticism. Stop with the silliness.
Claiming that they are anti-Semitic. No, this does not. Because your criticisms are ridiculous. My point I'm trying
that's
to make
kind of up to other people
is
to
that
decide at this
your
point.
criticisms are in your own mind. Like you have hallucinated an alternative
By the way, gaslighting,
reality.
anti-Semitic trope. This is what dog whistles are. You whistle to other people, and it's subtle enough that you have plausible deniability, so that when you get accused of being anti-Semitic, you can call the accuser crazy, which is exactly what you're doing. You're a fucking anti-Semite, and you've been caught out 3 different times calling me crazy for very viable, very credible.
And he's a gaslighting anti-Semite.
Anti-Semitism that you should at least be able to admit are at least not insane. Maybe a misunderstanding, but not insane. But no, according to you, they're all hallucinations. So go ahead and tell me why you're not dog whistling.
Yes, because people having an issue with your statements and with your coverage on as a prominent content creator with a relatively progressive audience, your coverage has entirely focused on your own personal feelings and a lot of misplaced paranoia from people who are criticizing
dog whistle.
Wait, my chat's not moving.
Can we get a whistle soundbite?
Dude, I was wondering why the chat was froze.
Anti-Semitism.
You got a
That's not the case.
Bruh.
I used to like you. I don't know anymore. And I don't think
was
it's
like,
because
why
of
is no one voting?
anti-Semitism.
I definitely don't
develop
like you.
Anti-Semitism after
Let
doing a
me
podcast
stand
with
on
you for 2
business and say
years.
I think you're a terrible person and a liar, and I don't like you at all.
I know. I still wish you well. I do.
He did not.
I wish you well, and I really do.
I wish
hope.
everybody
I think
well.
Power Chat is
Everybody
down
be
again.
well.
Maybe.
No,
All right,
not
let's
it.
move on. You got it. You want
Dang
to call
it.
me crazy or hallucinating again? Is that all you got?
I don't even
Bruh,
need to do
Power
that.
Chat
I think you're
down.
doing that all on your own.
I thought everyone
To be
left.
fair.
I was like,
Yeah, we'll see. So do you want to tell me what is your evidence that I work with or talk to or have any association with at all with Destiny?
What? Destiny? What?
What? What? The guy
no,
that I talk
had
about
to-
fucking obsessively 100 times a day? That is like
Oh,
basically
wait,
like
Power
the
Chat load?
Antichrist, the Lord Voldemort in my community? Yeah. You accuse me of working with him, knowing him, talking to him. What is your evidence for that?
Oh, Thank you for asking.
Oh, you're very
Not
welcome.
only is there video footage of you corresponding with someone in your Discord that literally aligns perfectly with Destiny's own Discord, offering clips for you to pull.
That sounds like a stretch.
You've also used clips that are unlisted called Hamasabi
Yeah.
when making arguments about my virulent anti-Semitism.
Who gives a fuck?
From
I pulled a clip.
unlisted link that came from
Hamasabi?
a Destiny fan account.
So that's your proof that I work with Destiny.
None of that is relevant. What's
Okay.
relevant is your constant coordination with Destiny's podcast co-host Dan Saltman, who you featured on your context nuke. So yeah,
Did I feature him
I
in
don't
my
think it's that
content?
ridiculous of
My
a fucking assertion to make, especially when
don't remember what it was.
considering the fact that you have been corresponding with Dan Saltman, and you did, and he is Destiny's podcast co-host, and the what does he call himself? The general of the Hezbollah, I think that's what they call themselves, the Taliban and the Hezbollah.
The Taliban, yes.
I know.
That they engage
So you-
in. So yeah, I think that is not a ridiculous fucking claim to
Saltman.
make at all.
It's actually insane, and it's a really convenient way of discrediting me when I've never spoken to,
No, I think you're
worked
doing
with,
enough
talked
to
about
discredit
Destiny
yourself
in my
all on your own.
life.
I don't need to bring
It's
that
a
up.
really nice way of you. You know what? I think you're hallucinating, buddy. I think you are Oh, you pulled a meme from his subreddit once. And
No,
there was
that's
a
not-
guy
that's
in
not
your
the only
Discord
reason.
that's
Did I
also
bring
in
that
his
up?
Discord. I think you're
No, I didn't
hallucinating.
say any of those things.
You sound fucking unhinged, dude. Are you crashing out, Hasan?
Ethan, I didn't
Hasan,
say
are you
that.
crashing out?
I gave you.
Do you
I
have
gave
friends
you
who are
a
aware
reason.
of the condition and can help you get the help you need?
Okay, Ethan.
You're delusional.
You featured Destiny's podcast.
I said he
co-host
discovered
that
the
you
IP ban. Is that
correspond
He
not
with.
did
true?
do that.
I
That's
said Dan
true.
Saltman discovered the IP ban. That's all I said. I didn't endorse. I didn't. All I said is he discovered the IP ban. Is that true?
Oh, you had him
Is
on.
that
Oh, my
materially
chat's
true?
back. My chat's back on screen.
I
There we
don't
go.
think
It
so.
is. It is.
I think someone in Destiny's
think?
community did it, but it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
How is that an
You're
endorsement?
crazy is on. There we go.
Ethan,
What,
are you
Ethan?
claiming that
Is this
you
what
don't
you're
do
doing?
every
Jimmy
word
Zoomer,
on
Joe,
the
keep on
radio,
here.
Saltman?
Ethan, Hasan, are you hallucinating?
Ethan,
Hasan,
It's anti-Semitic.
do you not correspond with Destiny's podcast co-host Dan Saltman?
I've talked to Dan Saltman, but also I don't think that that's Destiny, is it?
Yeah, no, that's just his podcast co-host and is perfectly
You
aligned with him
say-
and uses his community to brigade, and also has literally tried to blackmail people in Destiny's
don't
own
really
community.
fucking care
for
because that's not
literally
Destiny, is it?
unearthing sex crimes that he did.
Man, you
Do
are
you feel
really
like that's a good
hallucinating.
person to align with?
I'm not
that you now
endorsing
openly
him.
admit.
I'm not endorsing him at all. I just said I've spoken to him.
No, yeah, you're not endorsing him. You're just getting
Have
information
you ever
from him
spoken to somebody
use.
you don't endorse? I mean, what kind of silly bullshit are we doing here?
Certainly. That
Well,
is-
there you
yes,
go.
I speak
Oh
to
my
people I
God,
don't
dude.
endorse. I'm speaking to one right
you
now.
talked to Dan Saltman. You're fucking outed as a Destiny's best friend.
Ethan, you're the one who admitted that just now.
I said
You
I've
also
spoken with
brought
Dan
forward-
Saltman, not that I'm a Destiny collaborator, which is what you claim, which is
Bro,
an
he
outright,
is.
pathetic, provably wrong lie. And this is part of your
And Destiny's
disinformation
even a bigger
campaign
Nazi.
to delegitimize
True.
my points
I don't
without
racist.
ever having to
Delegitimize you
address
by
them.
associating
And
you
isn't
with
that
Destiny.
convenient?
Take
You
your
never have to
medications,
address
go.
anything I say because you can just say, Ethan's friends with Destiny. Ethan's hallucinating.
Ethan, I don't
Hasan?
think I need to. I didn't bring up Destiny. You did.
Yeah,
And also,
because you lied about me for 2 years working with them.
2 years.
That's right. Hasan, listen.
Ethan, this is kind of embarrassing
Year and a half.
to admit, but I defended you both to my community and in general because I thought that you were a lot more open-minded until
What have we
pretty much
disagreed on?
The December
What have we
of
disagreed on?
2024.
I'm sorry. What
What?
am I not open-minded about? What have we disagreed on, Hasan, other than me criticizing you and your friends? What have I said against the Palestinian people? Go ahead.
You said death to the
What do we
goy.
disagree on?
Agreeing on is what you choose to focus on.
that seem
and
significant?
What you think is the major point of contention here.
Well, that's first of all, I'm what I choose to focus on is certainly something you can critique.
A little frivolous.
But does that justify like lying about me continually for a year and a half just because you don't like where I'm focused? That seems immaterial.
Lying about what?
About me being a Destiny fan, about hallucinating, sweeping for your anti-Semitic friends, lying about context, saying that
I would guess he's a Destiny
videos out of context
fan.
without
That's
watching
probably
it.
just true.
Hasan, Take your time.
Do you feel like your video wasn't out of context?
Absolutely
wasn't a
not.
compilation of a 2-hour sequence of out of context clips?
You want to do this? What's out of context?
Okay.
Name one thing. Go ahead, read the chat. Someone will send you on Discord.
No. I have it readily available.
Well, I'll wait.
One of the major points that you made that I've seen through other people's coverage of it so far is that I deny rapes happening on October 7. Okay? That I deny rapes happening on October 7. There's a clip of you when you first encounter that statement where you are actually understanding of my position until your wife stops you and says, that's inappropriate. You literally say, oh, he's saying the likelihood of rapes happening does not justify genocide, which you agree a genocide is happening.
Uncontested.
Ever since then, though, months later, you still chose
Her
to
name
use
is
that
Hila, by
clip
the way,
that is
Hasan.
14
I don't
seconds
know
long
why
out
you
of
referred to her
context.
as my wife. I find that a little chauvinistic,
Your
frankly. You
wife!
know who she is. You know her well. You've begged for Teddy Fresh from
Your
her many
IDF
times. So, like, yeah, you
soldier.
know who she is. You've
Dude,
written her
Hila.
emails asking for
You're
clothing. Her
not
name is Hila.
asking.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you're not
I mean,
asking
why
for
does he
Teddy
say
Fresh.
that?
That's
Why-
crazy.
Okay.
Who goes, oh, your wife? Like, she's not.
Bruh.
She has no. She's just like, oh.
I
Ethan
wasn't-
is
can you
dominating.
respond to what I
Yes,
was saying?
absolutely.
Actual
with great
weeping.
pleasure, I will
Why
respond.
is it that
Because,
you
Hasan,
initially
that
understood
was
the full
one
context until Hila stopped you
Very
and
good,
said,
he
no,
said
no,
it.
no.
I'll answer. Would you like me to answer? That's one
Dude, he
example.
won't say her
of
name
men.
'cause he hates
Seeing
Israelis so
your
much.
response in the totality of all the responses shows that you do deny the rapes that happened on October 7th. In
In
fact,
the totality of all my
in fact,
responses.
you had promised me, and I know you would never lie to me, that you would watch the context puke with me. So why don't we pull up that bit there and we can see how out of context
Teddy
it is.
Fresh, that Peter swag,
Boom,
dude. It's
do
so
it.
ugly.
Great.
That's crazy
Someone
to be
pulling that
asking
down?
for that. That's not good look. Unless he's just trying to be polite or something.
How you doing? I'm waiting for the link. You good?
Am I? Oh yeah, I'm great. I don't think this is going the way you perceived it to be going. But
Sure. I mean, you're reading your chat. Do you think that's the
I'll
most
be honest
accurate
with
way?
you,
I mean,
was gonna be-
Ethan's dominating,
I was
but he's
thinking
not really
about being a
making
lot
any
more
good
stern
points.
initially,
It's just
but
like
this has turned into the last conversation that we had.
just kind
where
of a
I am
bad
trying
combo.
to gently nudge you in the direction of sanity. and
Ethan, I
you're
want you
still-
to really understand. You're crazy. You're crashing out. You're hallucinating, my friend. Come sit over here.
Stop
You know what I
gaslighting
mean?
me, Hasan.
Don't ignore the swastika.
Ethan got
ignore the
violence and
accusations of working with
momentum.
the ADL with
Yeah.
no credibility.
Yep.
Ignore the tier list with fucking Ben Shapiro and Ethan. Come sit here. You're hallucinating. Oh, thank you so much for. You know what? Thank you, Hasan. That's so kind of you. How fucking genuine of you to take off the baby gloves. You fucking liar.
I mean, this is. This
You
is
are
the
a
baby
prolific
gloves.
liar, bro. Where's the link? Just control F for.
The reason, for the record, the reason why I don't like to bring Hila into the conversation is because I'm addressing my concerns with you, and I don't think that it's appropriate for me to, extend
Well, you
the
just.
lens of
I mean,
criticism
that's a
to
little
other
silly
people.
considering you're like. Well, actually, it was Hila who influenced your opinion. The evil IDF lady.
She's beside.
Okay.
Oh,
While
let me
we're waiting
guess.
for the clip.
You
No, I
think
got
she's
it.
a
Denying
spy?
Oh, okay.
Violent rapes that took place, that is way beyond the pale.
Hold on, I'm grabbing another soda, but I'm hearing you. There is one instance in captivity
Chair react.
that we have.
I'm not gonna let you chair react to me, buddy. You grab that Dr. Pepper. I'll wait.
Dude, why is his webcam
No,
so,
I said I'm
so laggy?
listening to you. Don't worry.
Power Show Live
was
slash
grabbing
JimboZoomer, by the
another
way.
soda.
I'll play media after this.
Beyond the pale.
Before we end the show.
Is that there is one instance in
Did you put a
captivity.
Hamas headband on me?
I sure did.
There is one instance in captivity that we have actually gotten verifiable evidence on. Beyond that, the systematized mass rapes that Hamas dealt on October 7, not a single bit of that has been verified.
Systematic.
And people still run with it
yeah.
over and over and over again.
Many
True.
young people who are simply
True.
attending a music festival
were killed by
Women were
IDF
horribly
helicopters.
I can't see myself, by the way,
As
if
I
you're showing
said,
my
you're
reaction.
giggling. You're
Israel
giggling.
had
It's so
a right,
funny.
Has a right to
No,
defend
I'm not
itself.
giggling. I'm
sure
saying
are.
to you, bro, what rapes did Hamas do? What are you talking
What
about?
rapes did Hamas
Stop
do?
Anti-Semitism
Dude, Hasan
account that
thinks
considered me
rape's
to be
funny.
Anti-Semite of the week has also been hallucinating rapes once again, doing rape fantasies once again because they're fucking mentally ill.
Hamas has
You know that-
committed.
That's something you go to a lot. You notice that? Call
What?
people mentally ill. Find that odd. Probably should revise that. I don't know if that's kosher for leftist values.
Horrific acts
Yeah, I'm
of
not
sexual
exactly,
violence. And
you know,
took-
I'm not exactly doing a lot of stuff that's kosher for leftist values in
okay.
general.
So you,
but
so you,
I don't really.
so you have no problem weaponizing mental health. I
Yeah,
don't.
when someone is hallucinating, I think it's appropriate to say that.
By your
yeah.
authority,
You're
I'll
a
decide who's
fucking
hallucinating.
ableist asshole.
And girls.
Watch this.
horrific acts of
Ethan,
sexual
can you,
violence.
Ethan,
And took
Hasan, I am so sorry. You promised that we would watch this. I pulled it up. Now sit silently and enjoy.
Okay, but I got the
Hamas
point. You're
has
saying
committed
that like
horrific
you're
acts
showing
of
clips
sexual
of me.
violence
You're showing clips of
and
me
took
saying that
Women
someone
and girls,
is.
men and boys
Wait, what?
slaughtered after enduring sexual violence. The deadliest day for the Jewish people.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7th. Like that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much. So that's the other part of this problem that many people that can't contend with. Like,
I can't believe how quickly leftists go from believe all women to Pixar didn't happen.
There you go, Hasan. What do you got?
Pixar didn't happen.
That's
great commentary, by the way. Okay.
I mean,
so,
it's pretty apt.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You did actually. I'm surprised. You did actually show the my findings on the UN committee report that came out.
The one that you
was
misrepresent continually.
I
That you
did not
fucking
misrepresent the
continually
UN
lie about the
preliminary
conclusion.
report. Wait, what did I misrepresent about the
Go
UN
ahead. You tell me.
preliminary report?
Tell me what it said.
The UN preliminary report was not an investigative report. Like, for example, the investigative report that came out about Israel's systematized sexual assaults that was 49 pages long.
Horrible. What a horrible thing that was.
Yeah. No,
Unironically.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Just unacceptable.
The
Why does he
level
sound-
of evidence in a preliminary
Why does he sound
report
sarcastic?
is only enough to actually create an actual investigation. The problem is Israel has denied an actual investigation to take place. Israel has told the United Nations that they are not allowed to do an actual investigation and to simply listen to what they have to say. Now, not only is Israel,
there are literally women
let's
who
be
have
real.
said,
Do
I
you
was
feel
raped.
like the Israeli government lies?
Do you?
A lot?
I mean, all governments lie. I'm not going to defend Israel. Though.
I agree.
You said,
I agree.
You said,
But
you
Israel-
said there's
Israel
women that
certainly
come out
lies
and
a
said,
lot,
I
right?
was raped.
What?
There are women on the record, on video,
Women.
saying I was raped.
Like you're saying, you're saying there are multiple women that are on the record saying I was raped.
Correct.
There is,
Where's
as
the
far
rape?
as I understand,
Where's the
one
rape?
instance
Well, of
in
course,
captivity.
as far
It
as
is
you
not
understand, 'cause you don't give a
systematized
fuck
mass
about
rape
the reality
directed by
of it.
Hamas. What?
Well, of course, that's as far as you can conclude because you don't give a fuck about the truth. You just
Wait,
want to do propaganda,
Ethan,
remember?
Ethan.
Hasan. Please, calm down.
Okay.
You're getting worked up.
I don't know why you're
Whoa.
behaving in such a childish manner when we
I am
are
not.
actually talking about finally some serious stuff. Okay?
Well, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
In
We're talking
terms
about
of-
rape.
in
Get a
terms
hold of yourself,
the
Ethan.
UN preliminary report and the findings.
Bro looks insane.
Okay.
Yeah, he does.
There is a clear
Hasan, lock
lack of
in!
evidence for any forensic examination to take place due to the incompetence of the Israeli government and specifically the organization Zakah that spent most of its time in the immediate aftermath of October 7 taking bodies out of body bags and putting them into Zakah branded body bags. This was reported by Haaretz as well. They polluted
what's he
the
saying?
evidence pool. Okay?
He's saying we can't
That's
prove
number
rape.
one. Number two,
He's saying
numerous
Jews raped the
people that
bodies.
came out and offered eyewitness testimony have since then been discredited. Also, according to Haaretz reporting.
Which article?
I don't. I mean,
What's
I
the
can't pull it up right now.
Haaretz
You
article
can
that
Google it.
accuses victims of sexual assault of lying about it? Go ahead and link me that one. And by the way, while you look for that,
No, not victims of sexual assault, Ethan. I'm using my words very carefully.
Eyewitnesses.
Right.
Not
Of course,
victims
I remember
of
you do
sexual
that.
assault. Not victims of sexual assault.
They proved
Eyewitness
that they
testimony
wanted it.
initially provided
Haaretz proved
led people to believe that there were sexual assaults that were taking place.
Show me the source.
Were then discredited.
Show me the source.
Discredits.
By the way, Hasan, why you look for that? I'm assuming that you're quoting the UN Representative Secretary General
October
on Sexual
7th
Violence
rape.
and Conflicts report, right? This is one everyone refers to. Now, are you aware how these kind of papers work? They do a very precise conclusion at the end that summarizes the main thesis and points driven home in the article. That's what the conclusion is. Let me read it for you. Overall, based on the totality of information gathered from multiple and independent sources at different locations, there are reasonable grounds to believe that conflict-related sexual violence occurred at several locations across the Gaza periphery, including in the form of rape, gang rape, during the October 7th, 2023 attack. Credible, circumstantial information which may be indicative of some forms of sexual violence, including genital mutilation, sexualized torture, cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment was also gathered.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I'm gonna walk you through this real quick.
Are they hallucinating?
No. So you just don't know what words mean. So credible circumstantial evidence.
By they saw or heard sexual assaults during the attack. It's not known whether there's an overlap.
Yeah, of course.
Of the 5 eyewitnesses who've already come forward.
Is not a substitute for forensic evidence. Credible
That's why I said Piker didn't happen, bro. You need rape kits.
Prosecute.
Hasan needs rape kits.
Circumstantial evidence is not enough.
Piker didn't happen, right?
Prosecute rape, which is precisely the reason why the Israeli prosecutors themselves have said that
believe all
Jews. The singular
Jews.
victim coming out, and also
believe
with
the Israeli
all of
government
the forensic
always
evidence that has been tarnished already.
Show me evidence for anything you're saying.
What?
That's not. Show me evidence for anything you're claiming that isn't some unhinged freak on Twitter. Believe all women, hey? Hey, are we believing all women unless they're Israeli? Right after October 7th Hamas attack in Israel, Zaka, the disaster victim identification volunteers, were among the first civilians responding on the scene. Zaka is an Israeli rescue and recovery organization primarily staffed by ultra-Orthodox Jewish volunteers, known for their work in collecting human remains for proper burial according to Jewish law. I think what happened is, a lot of what happened is that obviously you don't rape someone and then keep them alive, right? So most of them were murdered, and a lot of the forensic evidence.
multiple gang rapes at the Nova
accounts of sexual violence on October 7th fueled the global dispute over Israel-Hamas war. This is from May 22nd, 2022. This is about the witness testimony that was discredited. Okay.
But so even if one account was discredited, there's many.
No, it's not one account; it's 2 accounts. But the rest
there's
of
way more than 2 accounts. Hey, Hasan, you know what you're doing? You're like, this girl lied about being raped, therefore all these women need to be questioned. That's actually what you're doing. You're saying Pixar didn't happen. I don't believe women if they're Israeli.
Can you point me to actual to victims that came out?
Yes.
Because as far as I understand, Israeli police have asked victims and witnesses to testify about Hamas and sexual violence.
They're saying they all were shot to death.
October 7. And it seems like their investigations were inconclusive because by the admission of the Israeli prosecution,
show me evidence of anything you're saying.
They openly said that there were no victims that came out.
Yeah, let me guess. You read it on Haaretz.
They're all dead. Apparently.
You don't wait. Do you think that Haaretz is not a credible institution
it is, but
of journalism at this point?
No, but you guys lean on that. You just lie about what it says because it sounds credible.
Who is you guys?
You and all of your fucking dumbass cohorts that do the same
they were tying bodies to trees.
Rhetorical tools to just say whatever the fuck you want without ever having to back it up or knowing what you're talking about in the least bit. So show me the evidence. Haaretz boy.
I sent
swastika boy.
Some shot in the boobs.
And also, here is the Israeli prosecutor Moran Gitz has acknowledged that 15 months after the events of October 7, 2023, Israel has still not identified any victims in which a case can be brought against an alleged perpetrator of a sexual attack.
They're all dead.
The admission is in line with the complete lack of any credible evidence regarding incidents of sexual violence, which is particularly notable when these claimed. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this foundation is, but there is news reporting on this. I don't know why someone sent me this link of this.
Do you think what is your point? What you said doesn't change anything.
Dude, Muslims wouldn't rape.
Do you think that they raped people and then didn't kill them?
Dude, you said that there are victims. Can you give me the names of the victims?
Muslims wouldn't do that.
First of all, I am not in the business of
They're
denying.
Arabs. They don't do that.
If there are victims that have come forward in this process,
I will play it for you.
As I've said,
their evidence,
was an instance of sexual assault that.
A lot of the evidence, other than like eyewitnesses saying they maybe saw that,
was directed by Hamas.
From what I just read, I wasn't reading it out loud because they were talking, but it basically said that it had bodies that were mutilated in intimate locations, meaning like it is insinuating their genitals, like their like pussy or their vagina or their penis. But it clarified that it was saying through the breast, which is like your chest, which is like that's not the same at all. That'd be like being shot in the chest. So
he's presented, and I will admit that I'm wrong.
Poon Annie's.
Yeah. There's a video. Hold on.
Is the video from Screams Without Violence? Is that where you're gonna? Is that where you're gonna present?
No, it's not from that. There's one recently of a woman testifying. I think it was either in the UN.
99% of the audience is leftist, progressive. Ethan is wiping the floor with his on.
Speaking in English.
He needs to just start saying, you just think that they raped him because they're brown.
We'll get there. But like, yeah, I mean, what's your problem with Sheryl Sandberg's documentary?
Sheryl Sandberg has also been accused of sexual harassment herself, but outside of that,
what the fuck does that have to do with what's written in her documentary?
Her documentary is basically the unsubstantiated claims that some of which were directly.
Dude, he has to deny rape right now. This is brutal.
But not only is it
deny
claims, it's just a recycling
hypothetical
of the same
rapes that
Screams
occurred.
Without Violence, the Screams Without Words article that the New York Times wrote that didn't even meet its own editorial standard. Okay, we're having this conversation. You seemingly act like you care about sexual violence taking place against Israelis. Meanwhile, one of the hostages that actually was returned in the early stages did get raped by an Israeli fitness instructor. I have not seen you talk about that. I have not seen you talk about the Israeli
crime that an Israeli did unrelated to the conflict.
Israel
Do you find it interesting? There's something that
Israel had a January 6th style pro-rape riot where a bunch of rabid right-wing.
Do you think I'm defending this? I'm not defending this.
The prosecutor's office.
This is crazy. Plot twist. It was a Jew.
Took out 6 concentration camp prison guards from the Sede Taman facility that had actually raped numerous Palestinians on camera.
Are you done grandstanding? Here's a victim.
One that they raped to death.
Are you done? Here's a victim you asked for.
What? So Israelis raped them? Who cares?
I think there was an even more recent one than this, but where's the audio? Fuck. Hold on, let me unmute.
Unable to move and had to ask for permission to use the bathroom. In that house, I was sexually assaulted by the Hamas terrorists who had guarded me.
This is big.
He forced me to go to the shower and entered the room, pointed his gun at me. He was breathing heavily and had a monstrous beast-like face. He meticulously planned his assault, scheming and waiting for the moment to have his way. He kept asking me private sexual questions while sitting next to me in his underwear, lifting my shirt, touching me, and constantly asking me when my period would be over.
Sorry, just to butt in here.
Is
she lying yet?
I don't want it when
you're lying or hallucinating?
Ethan, have I ever said that rapes did not take place?
Tell me when it's nice and
according
clean.
to one credible personal testimony in captivity, not on October 7, but in captivity.
I'm fucking buzzing. Don't stop.
Kind of, yeah. Yes.
Over.
You're doing it right now.
What do you mean?
I know exactly what he was planning to do.
You literally
and yet I couldn't do anything to prevent
it. Wait, pause it for a second.
No. Listen to what she has to say, Hassan. Hassan, don't silence her. Let her fucking talk.
Wasn't even allowed.
No, because you're acting like this never happened, that it's exaggerated, that everybody's lying, that Israelis are just inherently evil monsters that are responsible for everything bad that's ever happened. Listen to her.
Cry or to be sad.
Listen to her words.
I had no one to comfort me and was forced to act nice to the person who had just sexually
Listen to this victim. Show her some respect, Hassan.
Horrifying way.
Oh, it's so gross.
Not a day goes by that I don't think about what that terrible man did to me.
It is.
We were having such
show respect,
brother. That is fucking gross.
No person should ever be subjected to such
on this. Holy shit.
This is
You really have no problem speaking.
This is a risky strategy because he is.
Don't give a fuck about rape. Look, what are you
he
doing?
is weaponizing this woman women being raped right now. This is a risky strategy with the libs because he's like very obviously with like no remorse victimizing the rape. I don't think that's going to be effective with Hasan's audience. I think the Jews maybe will overlook that he's doing that. I don't think I think the libs, they can sympathize with that and be like, that's gross. You know, they can.
You join the Supernova Music Festival. They pin you down to the ground. You try to resist. They take off your clothes, laugh at you, humiliate you, spit on you. Said the victim who's hold on.
Okay, listen to me.
Because Hasan's not denying this one.
You're not going through
Hasan's just going, I agree that this one happened. Like, I don't deny this one. This one, I'm not denying.
They take off.
And you know I acknowledged it because you posted it in your video that you just showed me.
Here's the clip.
Reveals that sexual assault and rape was a regular component of the life as a hostage in Gaza.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happened on October 7th.
Hasan, maybe you would like to call her a liar. Please, go right ahead.
You're doing it matter if fucking rapes happened on October 7th.
There are dozens of testimonies from witnesses.
Fucking lying bitch.
Dozens of testimonies.
And heard.
Oh, yeah.
Ethan,
are you denying that?
You said in the beginning, I'm going to use my words very carefully here. In the beginning, you said on October 7th, there were numerous victims of sexual violence that you said, not me, you said that there were numerous victims of sexual violence that actually came forward. So I ask you for names of the numerous victims of sexual violence on October.
This is so bad because it's like, yes, Hamas obviously raped some of them, duh, you know, you cannot deny that, but it's a conflict with like a bunch of soldiers, so that doesn't make Hamas's side, you know, like way more evil, because the Israelis systematically would rape the Palestinians that they had in prison. So I mean, it's two sides of the conflict and they both have freaky Semites raping each other. Like, that's the defense, is really like, no, all the rapes are bad. Yeah. But it's a conflict with a bunch of soldiers. Some of them are good. Some of them are bad. And that sucks, you know? But like.
This is a major point of contention. You have
there are baddies on both sides
as a rape denier when you yourself, the one evidence
you deny mass rapes happened, and you're doing it right now.
The instance of sexual violence in captivity
I just showed you two
that we know of up until this point.
Showed you two.
You and I both agree on.
I showed you two.
You know that I agree with that. You know that I've talked about it. You know that I've acknowledged it.
You deny mass rapes happened,
and yet
not that rapes happened.
What?
You deny that mass rapes happened, not that rapes happened. Listen to my words.
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I do
good.
deny
well, there you go.
Because there is no evidence. And
I just showed you two.
The clips that you used.
Well, there were two rapes.
The reason why I say it's out of
Those are
context is
hostages.
At that point, I personally took a position where I said very carefully and very deliberately that mass rapes that are directed by Hamas did not happen. There was no evidence for this whatsoever.
4 survivors told authorities they were sexually assaulted on October 7th. Report. First-hand account of such crimes have been rare, as most victims were killed. Hasan. Report follows earlier testimony from a man who said he was raped by terrorists at the Nova Festival. 4 people have told authorities that they were sexually assaulted by terrorists on October 7th. Channel 12 reports. On Thursday, adding to a growing body of evidence of the systemic sexual assault committed by Hamas. Unlike most of the previous evidence of sexual assault on October 7th, which was largely based on eyewitness testimony, the Channel 12 report is notable because it is based on first-hand accounts of victims. You can yawn all you want. First-hand testimony of such crimes has been rare because the victims have been killed. Dipshit.
Okay, Ethan,
they fucking kill them. According to the report, 4 individuals approached the welfare minister with their
sorry. There is no way to actually examine.
Sorry, talk about being gross. Listen to these victims.
When someone is murdered, there's no way to do forensics evidence to actually conclude.
The fucking answer to that.
Actually conclude
because
that person was sexually assaulted.
You know that the religious organization that is first responders that you cited has a policy of burying the bodies to avoid disgracing them. That's
Ethan, you
what
just
happened.
said dozens of victims came out in that article.
I'm reading
and
you.
I don't know
No way. I'm
you
showing you the evidence that you're wrong
in
right
that article.
now.
So
according to the report, 4
they can
individuals
just
approached the
claim
welfare
rape.
ministry with
They
their
can just
accounts of what
claim-
happened to them during the Hamas onslaught, which saw
said
blah blah blah.
$3.11.
12. Sorry, not blah blah blah.
This talk
200
about
people
rape
killed
is
and
making
200
me erect. Heil Heidler.
What did that say? Thank you so much, Gersh. That's crazy. They just have a policy where they can just claim rape
people were
because
killed. Are
they
these
can't
they're
prove or
all lying?
disprove it.
There are 5 people here. There's
So all you need is
3
someone to
that
say,
approached
"I heard
the
some rape."
ministry, and 1 man who said he was raped.
Jimbo,
Are
it's me,
these
your pal
all
Gersh. Always talking
liars?
about rape is making me erect.
I
Even
don't know.
3
I
big
don't think
shout
they
outs.
are. I have
Okay,
no.
so
How much I don't like
From
sexual women.
From everything that I have seen, from everything that I've read on this, and I have read extensively on this, as far as forensic examination has been concluded,
Gordon heard a
there
rape.
is no evidence, no hard evidence of sexual assault. And I will
I
give you a
just
clip
read
from
4
a Haaretz article
This is so
that was
exhausting, bro.
posted by Lisa
Uh-oh, here comes the Haaretz article.
Rozovsky.
I
Wait,
just
why
read
are
you
you
firsthand
discounting-
testimony
I'm
of
using-
4 people. What are you doing? You're saying that you're not believing the victims.
Ethan,
You're
it
asking for
doesn't
pics
even
or it didn't
care
happen.
about
It's not that I'm not believing
Where
the
did you
victims.
said
I'm
where's their
saying that
bodies?
Since,
Pics or it didn't
since what
happen.
you have mentioned, since
You're
the thing
saying
that
pics
you
or it didn't
mentioned,
happen.
okay,
right?
since the article that you mentioned came out, there have been further prosecutions on this. Why have they not led to any real prosecution?
Because they're dead. They're
No, that's
fucking
not-
dead, you moron. What do you mean?
Of course they were raped. They're
Testimony
dead.
in this
They
regard.
killed all the fucking Hamas operatives in
You?
Israel.
I killed them?
What? What are you?
Why are you saying
okay?
you killed them?
I said they. Why the fuck would I say you killed them? That's insanely stupid. Are you okay?
Dude, but what if?
Hallucinating. Are you crashing out? Go ahead.
Maybe I misheard you. I'm pretty sure you said you killed
I don't
them.
know though.
Sometimes
The
when you're
optics of this
under
are like
stress, you can
insane because
mishear
he.
things, but that's okay. I
It
understand.
might be. I might
Like,
be.
the shit Ethan does
my
is so
mistake.
obvious.
I have you on much lower volume because my volume is very
Okay,
low.
fair
so
enough.
it does- that's
Fair
part
enough.
of the
There's a
reason why-
We gotta
that's
see
part of the
the
reason why I do ask
Hasan chat.
over and over again what you're saying.
That's fine. I understand. I want people to hear what we're saying, so that's totally fair.
If you're saying,
are you
if
done,
you're
or you
saying
want to
he's
keep going?
gaslighting you, just clip it and send it to me, chat. It's that simple. Okay. And you probably said it by mistake, even if you did. So it doesn't matter.
Okay, we done with this one?
Who I posted about earlier.
What's his chat look like?
Is the Southern District Prosecutor's Office.
Well,
in
his set
Israel,
sucks.
okay? He was
Dude, he
she was
could
a
put
member
Ethan
of
in
the
anything.
Team
Like, he could-
7110, responsible
he
for
could use the
cases
green
involving
screen.
captured Palestinians in connection with the October 7th attacks.
He could make
On
him have any
investigations
background
related
if he wanted
sexual
to.
Violence, she says, in the end, we don't have any
Send him
complaints.
to hell.
What was presented in the media compared to what will eventually come together will be entirely different. Either because the victims were murdered.
Ethan is
okay,
so
this is what they're
gross.
saying,
He's sad.
or
Who
because
gives a
women who were
fuck?
raped aren't
Okay,
willing to
Hasan's
expose it.
audience does not. They don't not
that
budging.
she excludes their
120,000
explanations
viewers.
as Dropsite News that no rapes occurred. We approached
They're
women's rights
saying, I hoped
organizations
his
and
drugs
asked
would
for
wear off by
cooperation.
now.
They told us
Man,
that
baby,
no one
he's
had
so
approached them.
rude.
There were parents who reached out to organizations asking what to do if something happened to their daughter, but they didn't reveal the abuse. So the question.
Okay,
I have for
Hasan's
you
just
is
so
this.
dreamy and
Okay, the question
and
I have for you
sexy.
is this.
His audience does not give a fuck.
What am I supposed to do in the situation when there are no victims that have come forward?
4
and the
victims
speculation
just
is that
gave
the
firsthand
victims
testimony. I
probably
read it to
died,
you.
But there's no forensic examination. There
Pics
has
or it
been
didn't
no
happen.
justice for these victims in Israel
didn't happen.
on October 7 due to the fact that the government completely
The audio is better on this
but
one.
they didn't reveal the abuse. So the question
not
I
gonna
have
lie.
for you is this. Okay, the question I have for you is this.
I'm wondering if Ethan has Tourette's. He
In this
does.
situation when there are no victims
He
that have
always
come
has.
4
forward, and the
victims just gave
speculation is that
firsthand
the
testimony.
victims
I read it
probably
Stack
to
of
you.
dead
died,
brown kids
but
behind
there's
him.
no forensic examination.
Pics or didn't
there has
happen.
been no justice for these victims in
Pics or didn't
Israel
happen.
on October 7 due to the fact that the government completely
I'm crack open a root
ruined.
beer.
Okay. The government completely
Ooh,
ruined
a
any sort of
mug,
forensic
okay.
examination that could have taken place.
Ooh.
There is no way
For
to
firsthand-
actually.
are you
there is no
actually,
way
like-
to actually bring justice to these victims. Your assessment on this is so off base.
Hasan, are you
because
listening?
You think
4
you
firsthand
think-
victims. I just read it to you.
Okay, but
Let's.
what
You know
I'm
what?
giving
Let's,
you
you're
is
right.
the Israeli
You know what,
prosecutor's
Hasan? You're right.
office's
Let's
own
err on the side
statement.
of these
If there are
victims
victims
lying.
then, why are
Let's
there-
err
why
on the
have
side.
they
No,
not-
you're totally right. This is the progressive way. Let's err on the side of these people lying instead of believing them. Let's do that. And
No,
yeah, they're all
I'm
lying.
not saying that they're lying. I'm telling
Yes, you are.
my confusion on this comes from the fact that
it's not confusing. It's obvious.
while
Most of this
previous
shit happened,
reporting-
were killed,
while
and it's a
previous
religious.
reporting came
It's a
out-
religious
How does this
part
not
of
make
this
you
first
anti-Semitic?
responding unit
Like-
that they bury the bodies immediately
How
to
would this
avoid
not?
humiliating them. It's all explainable.
What?
Yes. If you don't know that, then you are like woefully misinformed, which just
To
Dude, what are
avoid
you talking about? What do you
humiliating
mean?
them.
It doesn't matter. There has
We
to be
don't
a forensic
use
examination.
forensics.
Pixar didn't happen.
We
They
don't
buried
use
the bodies.
forensics.
No, not Pixar. It didn't happen. You
To
don't think
avoid-
that you
They
don't think that the
buried the
victims deserve
bodies.
justice? What's wrong with you? Do you don't think these
Oh my
victims
gosh,
deserve
dude,
justice?
that-
This
Why
is
did you
how
still
is that
refuse
not insane?
An outside investigative committee.
How do you
to
explain these four
actually,
accusers?
Under normal circumstances,
How do you explain
the
these
United
four
Nations
accusers?
or a third party,
How do you explain
will come
these
in
four
and conduct
accusers?
an investigation?
How do you explain the four accusers?
I don't know.
Okay,
Why,
very
How
good.
do you?
Did you know why they do that too? It's because like half of them are killed by helicopters blowing them up with bombs. Thank you, Anonymous, for the $1. He says root beer. Let's go.
I mean, hey, listen,
cannot-
Hassan, we're at
I
an
cannot
impasse. Can we move on?
disprove something
Big shout outs.
that I don't know about when the
Power Jet Live slash
prosecutor,
JimboZoomer. Support the
do you
show,
think
keep it on the air,
Israeli
bankroll it,
Southern
keep
District
it alive.
prosecutor
You know what it is.
actually did not examine the testimony given by these victims?
If you don't know what happened in the four accusers, why are you speaking so confidently?
Because I'm
Because
speaking
you're a
about
liar. You're a
something that came
propagandist,
out
and you fucking
after
hate
that.
Israelis. Can we move on, please?
What?
This is obviously at an impasse.
No.
Oh my God!
This is
I'm
very
just trying to
important.
consider the audience. Everybody wants something else. I'm telling you, dude. This is
You
exhausting.
have claimed falsely that I
No,
do not
I've-
recognize.
Can we just
the
admit that
testimony
you are
of a
denying
sexual
rape
assault that took
and
place
move
in
on?
captivity.
Yes.
Oh
That
my
was
gosh.
false.
Yep,
Do you
it was
admit
false.
that?
Yep, she
Admit.
lied. It was false, etc.
No. It's a falsehood that you claim that I don't recognize that. Do you admit that?
Yes, 100%.
Now I'm confused.
Can we move on?
Wait, so you're admitting that you falsely smeared me as someone who is denying a verifiable
Well, let's take a look
verifiable
here.
claim of rape from a
Well-
first-hand account, and it's not from October 7th.
Okay. Yes, I'm smearing you. Can we move on,
Yeah,
please?
that's true. It's a hostage. That's all he has to say. That's not even from.
Okay.
Okay, very good.
All right.
Can you explain this tweet to me? This is your tweet, and I'd like you to summarize it for me. Here it is. You said, go ahead. You can read it for me and explain the picture.
I can't. I don't know where it is.
So you can't see it?
Oh.
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Okay. Very good. I guess what's the is just a little delay for him, Dan? Or?
No, I can see it. Bro really said
Yeah.
my lived experience in Israel proper. Great.
What's the picture?
This is
What?
zone of interest. You're familiar, yes?
Explain for the audience what this picture entails.
Milo Yiannopoulos
This is,
looking at kids
Zone of
in
Interest,
a pool.
which is a
Suspect, to say the
Oscar
least.
award-winning movie depicting the banality of evil during a literal Holocaust taking place, the monotony of the day-to-day existence, the beautiful garden.
And your implication
that,
is what?
Rudolf Hess and his family put together.
And your
While
implication
in the backdrop, you can see
is
there is
what?
a concentration. There's a concentration camp, Auschwitz.
Your
and,
implication
there's
to
a
me
train that
is
is
what?
most likely inferred to be sending.
This
Jews
is the
into
clip you're
concentration
responding
camp.
to. Hold on. Like it's completely based on my. I actually don't know where it is, but I said we know what it was. I just said Israel proper, right? I said my lived experience in Israel proper.
Yeah, can you
explain
play the clip? Play the clip.
It's 2 minutes, and I don't know where this happens. If somebody can find out.
No, play the clip. Play the full thing. We have time. I'm not going nowhere.
Well, let me see. Yeah, I mean, I want to watch it too. It's just.
I know you do.
Let's see here. I don't. Here, I'll just play it. Oh, this
Because
is a clip from the critically acclaimed Content Cop. How's that working out?
Oh.
You think Ian's happy he made that video?
I don't know. I mean,
You don't
I
know?
haven't talked to him about it.
I mean,
but
he put out a really big video. I mean, I would be stoked.
I don't know why you're asking me about what iDubbbz is thinking, but I mean, I
you were there.
assume. I mean, it performed pretty well. I think it
Awkward.
doubled your video. So
Yeah, I mean,
it's not that
think,
bad.
if anything, I think it just means that more people are interested than me than you.
Yeah, no, definitely. I believe that for sure.
Very good.
I think a lot of people. I think a lot some
Dude,
falsely and
this is
some
good.
for
This is
decent
good. I'm not
reasons
gonna lie.
want To,
This is way better than them covering each other.
It's probably the reason why there's a lot of people watching this conversation as well.
They're just like actually just beefing.
Do you want to watch the like ratio on this? Damn.
The like ratio on this.
That's correct, my friend. Here it is.
Wait, what? Ethan, play the video. This is also been reported even by your favorite. What is it? Nicholas Eat Oreos.
My favorite.
To be false.
Okay. Well, here.
The dislike metric is not correct.
Let's just watch it.
Why am I arguing on behalf of Ian's video's performance? I don't give a fuck. Come on, play the video, dude. Come on, Jesus Christ. Play the fucking clip.
I mean, it is ironic that he came and did this whole show of doing it with you, and it like just completely humiliated him. I think that's kind of funny and interesting, but I'll play the clip.
Not on leftovers. He's now talking about it on his podcast. What I want to do is show you.
Are you not? Hold on, I'm sorry. His entire creator clash is in ruin. The event is going to be fucking absolutely canceled. He's probably not even able to reimburse most of the fighters for the time they trained. How is that not a train wreck?
Ethan,
I'm just saying.
I am not iDubbbz. I don't care about your petty vendetta against iDubbbz. Play the fucking
video.
clip.
How I see Israel. Because you don't see that. When you listen to Hasan and you hear all these fucking...
Yes, you ruined a charity event. I hope you're proud.
Oh my God, bro. You have no idea what you're talking about.
He's now talking
I'm
about
talking
it on
about
his
Israel proper.
What I want to do is show...
And you're showing headlines about Gaza. I literally say in this clip that it's not, has nothing to do with the conditions of Gaza and the conditions of the West Bank, which I consider to be like apartheid. Like
the petty vendetta is against iDubbbz's wife, not him.
My lived experience.
Ethan is being a girl. Yeah, he is.
Israel.
He is.
My
He's so
lived
gay.
experience, bro. You are so fucking out of line. You have no idea. How do you have the confidence to make this video? Again, I don't know where it is.
Literally.
That is how I see Israel. Because you don't see that. When you listen to Hasan...
Israel blocks, and he shows these headlines. Israel again blocks Gaza aid. Again, I'm not talking about Gaza, which I say clearly in this clip, but go on.
And you hear all these fucking mega lefties talking.
Israeli authorities block healthcare to Gaza. Again, I'm not. Do you think that I'm talking about walking around Gaza? When I say how great multicultural it is,
We
did you
defended
think that?
how Israel attacked Gaza since October 7th. Not even.
Shield your eyes.
We never like.
What about the Temple Mount? What about
they did.
Al-Aqsa?
Is that not the point he's making, though?
It already
That was a
happened. I said it.
multiculturalism.
Oh.
How does that go every fucking Friday?
Okay, well, anyway,
right,
I said
right now,
the phrase
probably.
I said is that my experience
Earlier
in
today.
Israel proper.
What happened after that? When AB chimed in, I wonder. Anyway, listen.
Who knows? I mean, you like to make inferences based on.
I'm just asking. I don't know.
You know what's so funny? You know what's funny?
crazy,
It's all
because
on the
it felt like
audio.
it was
Go
both
listen to
AB
it,
and
dipshit.
Olivia
It's on the
that
audio.
were-
You don't know what you're talking about. You're a pathological liar. You are a propagandist. It's on the audio. You can go listen to it if you gave a
both
fuck.
AB and Olivia
This is
were,
too
were
hard to follow.
chiming in.
This
I
is
don't know why
making
we buttoned
Ethan
it.
look
I'm
insane.
just asking.
I'm not
you
gonna
know.
lie. This part's
It's fine.
not.
It's not that big of a deal.
What are you implying?
All right.
When he's pressing him on rape and making it seem like he's denying rape victims, I think that's maybe more effective. I think this is not effective.
Who finally caused us to talk about Israel Palestine?
You know what I mean?
Bro, just explain the
Like to the audience,
By
to
your
the-
own admission,
to the
there is a
mass
genocide
audience.
that is taking place in the Gaza Strip. By your own admission, there is also an apartheid structure both in the West Bank, but I don't think you believe that there's an apartheid happening within Israel proper by your own terms.
I don't think
Do
it's.
you
I don't.
feel-
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So do you feel as though Israel is somehow inseparable from both of these actions?
No, but obviously the conditions are different in Israel proper versus the West Bank versus Gaza. Like
you
West,
feel
I mean,
like
the
you
West
go
Bank has
into Israel
checkpoints. It has
amidst
like
a-
different areas of zones of interest. People don't have freedom of movement, so obviously that's more apartheid-like than the main body of Israel.
Yeah. Don't you feel like you going to Israel proper would actually resemble someone going to, you know, someone going near Auschwitz and being like, well, it's actually beautiful there. It's
Not at all.
that big of a deal.
No.
It's multicultural. Oh, you don't see the comparison.
Well, I mean,
Well,
where
Jonathan
Israel?
Glazer,
You
who
mean in
made-
Tel Aviv?
So you're denying the new Holocaust.
Jonathan Glazer, who made this Oscar-winning
Jonathan
movie, does see the
Glazer?
comparison.
Nah.
So hold on, you're crazy.
Jonathan Glazer.
You're
In
saying
his Oscar
all I
award,
said was my
winning
lived
speech.
experience in
That's
Israel
crazy.
proper. Is the problem that Israel proper? That sounds racist or something?
No, I think you're trying to present Israel as a beautiful multicultural land when it is directly doing a genocide across the border boundary, okay? And
Yeah,
also
I
is
make
an
a distinction.
apartheid on a good day.
Yeah, I make a distinction for sure.
You
Bro, a
can't
D1 Glazer, yeah, it's crazy. Israeli
the crimes that is happening 6 miles away, Ethan. That's my point. So
6 miles from where I live in Tel Aviv? 6 miles from what?
I don't know how many miles away it is from.
It's a lot
exactly
further
where
than
you
6
live in Tel
miles.
Aviv.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know how many miles away it is. That's not the point. It's
No, so
close enough that you can see it. If you go to Sderot, you can watch it.
The
They call
point
it
you're
the night
making is
cinema.
that everybody living in Israel is living next to a concentration camp.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
death camp.
and
Because
so
Gaza
I
is a
said, bro, really
concentration
said
camp.
my lived experience in Israel proper, and you're saying that I am a Nazi officer living casually and enjoying life as people are
No,
not.
you're not directly a Nazi officer.
Well, that's what this says.
No, Ethan, you're taking it a little bit too literally. I think the point there with that imagery is not that it's a
Why
Nazi
did you choose the
officer,
one with the
is
guy
that-
standing in it?
Well, I'm actually interpreting the work of art in the exact same way that Jonathan Glazer, who made this piece
Glazer.
of cinema, interpreted it.
Jonathan Glazer.
The entire point is, you
Richard
can
Glazer.
have a wonderful life as an American
Hello,
Jew
I'm Richard
in
Glazer.
Israel. Of course you can have a wonderful life in Israel.
good
That's
to
the
meet you.
point. Because Israel is a ethno-religious
Hello, Richard
supremacist
Pennison.
apartheid state that is
Penis
currently
on.
doing a genocide. It is the entire underlying principle of why this nation state was founded. That's what it was founded
Yes,
on.
Soy
It was
Jack, I'm
founded on
not
the
kidding when I say
extermination
he's got
principles
takes. I
definitely agree.
of the indigenous
Direct.
Palestinians, which you seemingly agree to. So
Yeah.
yes, if you actually think Israel is doing a genocide, then it comes across as rather odd that you would go to Israel to show how multifaceted and how wonderful Israel is.
That's evil.
It
in
would be
Tel Aviv-
exactly like someone
Yeah, I
saying,
mean,
"Oh, you don't understand? I'm German."
By the way, Power
I'm
Channel
going
Live
to
Session Missouri,
Poland.
if
I'm
you've
going
enjoyed
to-
this show.
I'm going to go
We're
to
only
Warsaw. I'm going to go to
65% of the way
Auschwitz.
through
I'm
the
gonna
dome.
show
At
you
all, dude.
how
It's
wonderful
so
Auschwitz looks like because it's German territory.
Okay, I lived in Tel Aviv. I worked beside Palestinians. I worked with them. I took the bus with
In the
them.
fields.
I walked around the streets with them. I went to the restaurants. They worked with me in my businesses. It's not what people expect. That's my point.
Wait,
You don't see
when
it.
did he
That
work
would
with?
be lying. That would be lying to your audience about
lived
the
there for 5
actual
years.
totality of Israel. You want to talk about my totality of anti-Semitism inferred off of like hyper specific narrow definitions that you have invented in your mind. Talk about the totality of a country that you recognize is doing genocide. You think it's appropriate? You think it's appropriate to go to Israel while there is a fucking genocide going on?
I mean,
by your own
you did a
admission
show with me and you
show
considered me
how
your friend and you knew that I was
multifaceted
apparently a
and
Nazi
beautiful
officer
Israel
that whole
proper
time.
is? What?
I said you were considering me a friend. You did a show with
Based
me. You knew I lived in
on-
Israel that whole time. I'm surprised you were
Yes.
willing to work with a Nazi
I
officer.
also have interviewed members of the
Based
Knesset,
is
as a
on.
matter of fact. Like Ofer Kasif. I have interviewed Israelis from the anti-Zionist youth
Utah.
movement Mezarvot. Israeli members. Israeli Jewish citizens that have refused service, refuseniks. I don't have an issue with
agree
people
with
that
you.
have
I don't know
lived
what
in
you're going on
Israel.
about.
Some of the reason why I know the total and utter depravity of the inception of Israel comes from Exeter University's very own Ilan Pape. His writings are what guide
very
me.
own.
Of course, I don't have an issue with people that have lived in Israel.
All right, can I
and no
respond?
longer
His
live in
essays
Israel,
are
or
what
even
guide
still
me.
Can I
live in
respond?
Israel, as a matter of fact.
Bro,
As
it's
long as
dramatic.
they're anti-Zionist.
Bro, it's
because
waxing
I care
poetic.
about Zionism
Bro,
as an
you're just
ideology.
gish-galloping. Just
I do
let me
not
respond.
care
My
about
God.
Jewish
You don't need to
people or
grandstand so
Israeli
long. Just
people.
let me
These are
respond.
not a part of my consideration.
He doesn't
because
care
I
about
believe
Jews.
in the best of people. I believe that people, regardless
Jesus
of the circumstances
Christ, bro.
that they've been
Let me
presented
respond.
with, can see right from
Jose.
wrong.
Okay, very
and I
good.
thought foolishly that you were one of these people.
Very
I
good.
foolishly thought you could also see right from wrong. But it's obvious to me that you have simply used what is going on for the past 16 months
Bro,
of horrific
do you want me to
mass
respond?
bombing and starvation.
Hasan, you gotta stop. You gotta stop with the fucking.
Welcome back, Joshua. You're now level 13, Jughead. I appreciate it. Big shout out. By the way, Power Chat Alive / JimboZoomer. Support the show. Keep it on the air. Bankroll. Keep it alive. Mods, spam the link in chat. You can send in media. If you send in media, I'll play it at the end of the show in 30 minutes before the show ends.
It came off bad, and I was wrong on that one. I totally
agree.
Watching that
play
clip
another
back,
one, I think.
I'm regretful about how I spoke about it.
I gotta play one from Jovian as well.
I agree with you.
Okay, that's fair. See, this is. I wish you were this open-minded for the past 16 months, Ethan, because I feel like a lot of the conversations that have taken place.
My problem is not with your philosophy on Palestine. My problem is with your community and the harassment you've leveled against me and my family.
People make inferences off of what you say. They do not know what's in your heart. Okay, and this is something that I privately,
on a lot of things. The issue is the
privately
harassment.
talked to you about in the beginning. After
You're saying,
October
well,
7th,
are you an
I
asshole?
told you
Because
time
then you
and time
deserve
again,
it.
Privately,
Okay, bro, you've
that
talked a lot. Let's just move on, please.
You are behaving like a. The reason why people think you are a Zionist is not because you're Jewish, but because of what you're saying. They
What did
heard
I
your
say that's
output,
Zionist?
And they made these inferences.
What have I ever
off
said
of your
that
output.
shows that I'm Zionist?
Ethan, the way that you have tackled the subject matter.
Say one thing that has shown the world, undoubtedly, how Zionist I am. That I am worthy of the scorn of you and the entire left.
How wrong that was.
What did
you just said?
Okay,
so
does that mean I'm a Zionist? I mean, and by the way, that was a recent clip. That doesn't explain the last 2 years.
Yes, it doesn't.
So
And
what
there's
did I
plenty
say
there
in the
as
last
well.
2 years besides
There's
that
plenty there
clip?
as well?
What did I say, Hasan? What did I say that's Zionist?
As recently as last month.
You can't give me one.
Pause, dude. My mentions are so insane. I've had like boomers or millennials or something arguing with Grok all day in my mentions. Now I'm just getting videos of dudes like whipping guys in chairs. They're just going back and forth. They're posting like George Floyd killing or being, overdosing, you know what I mean? Like George Floyd being kneeled on. And then like a gay guy. And just passive aggressive messages back and forth. And then just like a guy getting whipped in a chair. What are they cooking, dude? What is going on? Anyway, sorry.
Now recognize that Israel's doing a genocide, and you have in the past as well, for sure. But you've also gone back and forth on it, and you've called it a war or whatever. But having said that,
thanks, Elon. No, it's in my mentions though. It's just like below my tweet about
where you said
the thing.
Well, I find it very strange that there's not a single bomb shelter in Gaza.
That's a condemnation of Hamas.
What?
That is a condemnation of Hamas. Failure
I think it's a condemnation of your assessment of reality.
How is that pro-Zionist?
Look at the Gaza Strip.
How is me criticizing Hamas pro-Zionist?
Would you like to respond? Your army, yeah.
Do you think a bomb shelter would actually survive bunker buster bombs?
It'd be a lot fucking safer than
There's not a standing structure
the 7th floor of an apartment building.
For Israel to actually systematically destroy every hospital
with Hamas spending the totality?
That a bomb shelter would
Can I
just
ask you a
simply be
question?
fucking crosshairs.
Can I please ask you a question? Again, me criticizing Hamas makes me a Zionist?
You criticizing Hamas makes you a Zionist?
That's what you're claiming.
I mean, it depends on it depends on what you're saying. Yes.
Well, you know exactly what I said.
You can have criticisms of Hamas in terms of like their own internal domestic affairs, in terms of their governance. But if that's your hyper focus, then yes, people are going to make that inference that you are definitely against any kind of resistance against the state of Israel.
Because they don't make bomb shelters?
Because your expectation,
because they don't make bomb shelters?
from the Palestinians is to just simply sit there and take it so you can fucking act like you felt bad 10 years down the line.
Everything that you claim, the whole fucking apparatus of harassment that exists across social media with you at the center of it, it infringes on an inference that you maybe meant this. I have never once said I'm Zionist. The only reason people believe that is because you repeat it maliciously
no, the reason
time
why people
and time
believe
again.
That is because of your hyper focus
Name
on
one.
you, and your distraction.
That makes me a
Zionist.
And your deliberate deplatforming
Call him
attempts
a narcissistic
towards pro-Palestinian
asshole.
content creators. It
Yeah.
is ridiculous
Palestine doesn't absolve you of guilt.
You recognize the genocide,
Call
but you
him,
also literally get mad at people who
gaslighter.
fight back. You get
So
mad
I'm
at
public
Houthis.
enemy
You
number
call
one.
them terrorists. You call
defending
Hezbollah a
myself.
terror group, which is, by the American state's definition, absolutely considered a terror group. But there are plenty of terror groups that have
Hold on. Do you not
successfully
consider Hezbollah a
resisted
terror group?
against American imperialism and other forms of settler colonial violence?
Do you not consider Hezbollah a terrorist group?
No.
I think the definition of terrorism by the American State Department is intentionally vague to deny
What about
people their habeas corpus, deny people their due process. It is there to justify whatever kind of militant action that the American government can take. This is a severe violation of the
Okay,
American
very good.
Constitution. So
Hassan,
yes,
please, I want to
think
have a,
that this
can
definition
you,
is
can I give you,
intentionally
can I
vague and
ask,
it's
can I
fucking-
request something?
It's silly.
Can I please request something? I'm interested in having a conversation. You take this and you just
Hezbollah,
go on
the
and
tiny
on and
boxer,
on and on. You repeat
he's
yourself.
not a
You double
terrorist.
down on the same point. I just want to have a conversation. You make your point
Hezbollah.
and then you move on. You're doing too much. Please. I
did
we're
see
gonna
that,
be
The
Sword
here.
Jack,
American
yeah.
terrorism designation is silly. Do we agree?
I don't know. But do you,
What do you mean? But you,
well, here, I'll be
but
more
you
precise.
use its definition without
No,
ever actually
You're
thinking
right. Fuck
about it. What do you
Let me
mean?
be more precise. Here's what you said.
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization.
Do we like them or no?
Yeah.
They are a terrorist organization. Like they're designated. They are designated by
There
the
it
American state as
is.
a terrorist organization.
There
I
it
do not like them
is.
then.
Well, like
I like what you like.
I don't have an issue with them. Let's just say.
What did you mean by that? You do not have an issue with Hezbollah.
Okay, yeah, thank you for asking.
You're
Exactly. All right,
They
let me
got
explain.
aura.
I
They
do
low-key
not
got
have
some aura.
a single issue with the way that Hezbollah has defended southern Lebanon.
Me neither.
I
I
do
know,
not
it's-
have a single
it's
issue
horrible,
with
Jack Gumbo.
Hezbollah
I
as a
know.
form of militancy trying to incur penalties on the genocidal state of Israel.
I don't know, Roman
because
statute.
if you recognize that it is a genocide, then what is the expectation from other parties involved in the region? The very fact that other countries, the very
doing
fact that
it
other
again.
countries are not also up in arms is ridiculous, considering that Israel is a belligerent force that is destroying everything in the fucking region because it has an underlying exterminationist policy. And you
True.
agree with that
Okay,
because it's a
true.
genocide. You
Let me
said
speak,
it's a
please.
genocide.
True.
So
True.
what is
True.
the
He's kinda
explanation?
cooking
This
now. He's
conversation
sorta
is becoming
cooking
impossible
now.
If you don't just stop talking for a minute and allow me to respond.
Because
Now
Thank
respond.
You. Thank you. Hezbollah, when it was first founded,
The infiltration
I think was
into the
a,
United States
was a,
government.
Was a noble thing, right? Of defending Lebanon
They were
from the
kind of
IDF invasion,
noble
and they were
fucking
successful
retard.
in sending them back to Israel. Now, since then, a
Dude,
lot of
stop
terrible
showing
shit
me his
has
stupid
happened,
face.
right? And you sat there and you said, "I do not have a problem with them." So, do you not have a problem with what Hezbollah did in Syria, mass
that one
murdering
does, so it's
civilians on the behest of Assad?
Can you find a single instance where I've actually said I have no problem with Hezbollah's actions in Syria?
You said, "I don't have a problem with Hezbollah."
No, that specifically.
You know what's so funny?
Do you feel like that is the
Mr.
entirety of my conversation? Because I have talked about Hezbollah's actions in Syria, as a matter of fact, and I do have a problem
You're
with that.
precise
Yes,
with
I
your
don't think
words,
that-
right?
I don't think that harming civilians is in any way, shape, or form remotely correct. Now, having said that, I'm glad that you brought up Hezbollah because, again, in your
The tiny
video,
guy.
you falsely claim that
No, the
Hezbollah
army.
is responsible for 500,000 deaths in
They
the Syrian
participated.
conflict.
Yeah.
Okay. You say that Hezbollah is responsible for 500,000 deaths in the
500,000?
Syrian conflict. That is the entirety of the deaths, including the Hezbollah militancy in the Syrian civil war.
And therefore, what? They did nothing wrong?
Correct.
No, that's not what
So
I'm
what does
saying
it
at
matter
all.
the exact count?
You
Why does that bother
erroneously
you?
claimed that they were responsible for all the deaths. You stood in front
they
of
collaborated.
footage. You stood in front of footage of an entire town that was destroyed by what? By barrel bombs. Who has the capacity to have a air force and use barrel bombs to destroy an entire city? Do you think Hezbollah has an
They
air force?
participated.
Ethan?
You're
Is
not
that why
listening. You're being
implied
silly.
that they? Is that why you posted that?
I don't
photo?
even know who was it.
Hezbollah's action in Syria. Do you think that's a
I'm
good
not
look?
defending that. I'm
You
not
sure
Who has an Air
are.
Force
You
to
might
do
Hezbollah
that?
didn't do that.
Syrians?
Do you
Hezbollah would
think
never blow up a
Hezbollah has an
village in
air force?
Syria.
Do you think
Iraqis?
Hezbollah has an air force?
Do you think I think that?
Well,
do we
you
know?
implied it
I
when you
keep
showed
telling
a
you,
hollowed-out town
they worked.
that was
I just like their
barrel-bombed,
uniforms.
They worked
most likely
with
by
Listen, I
Russian
just-
government,
forces.
bro.
I like
why?
Hezbollah's
Why did you
uniforms.
use that imagery to imply that Hezbollah had killed 500,000 people?
they were
That is
complicit.
a false. This is my main problem with you, Ethan. You are
You're
spreading.
defending terrorism right now,
falsehoods.
by the way.
What?
You are
Holy
defending
beige.
a terrorism right now.
No, dude, I'm
You're
defending
defending a
the
terrorism.
Truth. How is this so hard to comprehend for you?
The truth
I
is
never
Hezbollah
have
did in
once-
Syria wasn't that bad?
They did not kill 500,000
Okay,
people
so it
in
wasn't that
Syria,
bad? So
Ethan.
what Hezbollah did
You
in
are
Syria
taking away
wasn't
the
that bad? How many
responsibility
did they
from the
kill?
Assad regime. You are taking
You're
away the
minimizing their actions.
responsibility
How many did they
from-
kill?
You're taking
Oh,
the
we
responsibility
stand-
away
well,
from ISIS.
wait.
You're taking the
mind.
responsibility away from the
No,
Russian
I'm putting
military.
blame on Hezbollah
It's
where it
ridiculous.
belongs. How many did they kill?
I don't even know the exact number of how many they killed. I believe it's like around 2,000 to 5,000, which once again is inappropriate. I have no issue
Did
saying
they collaborate
that.
with Assad?
They did. Yes, they did. They did.
And so what is the issue here exactly? You said you have no issue with them. I think that's a problem.
I think I've described it numerous times at this point. I have no issue with Hezbollah's
We love Hezbollah.
militancy
Say no.
against
No,
a state that is conducting
don't
a genocide.
fuck with that,
much is
dude.
very
We just
clear.
like how they
And as a
look.
matter of
You said
fact,
I do
there are
not have
plenty
a
of
problem with
instances where I've
Hezbollah.
talked
I did
about-
not
You're lying.
As a
fuck with
matter of fact, there
Hezbollah.
are plenty of instances where I have
You're
talked about
lying.
Hezbollah's militancy
Assad.
in Syria.
When you're done
you know,
lying, I'll
why not?
explain.
Axis of wait,
Not
what?
even there anymore.
When you're done lying, I'll explain. You didn't say
I'm
that.
not. What
You
do you
said
mean I'm lying?
You said
I'm
I
telling
don't.
you
You were
what my
talking
position
to a
is right
normie.
now.
You were talking to a normie who didn't understand anything about the conflict, and he said, "How do we feel about Hezbollah?"
Yeah,
A
that is
general
confusing.
question. How do we feel about Hezbollah? Your answer was, I don't have a problem with them. Let's just say. And then, by the way, Hasan, you start trying to minimize their inclusion in this fucking wanton slaughter of Syrian
Yeah, we
civilians.
only stand Mossad, IDF, CIA.
Wait, what? I'm minimizing
US
their
State
inclusion
Department.
of the wanton slaughter of
Here's
Syrian
what you said
civilians?
because you want to be
Dude,
precise.
you made up
like them.
the
Tar.
you.
Well,
Like
I like what you like.
Ethan. You
I don't have an issue
stupidly
with them, let's
said
just
that they
say.
killed 500,000 civilians. What are you talking about? I did not minimize their wanton slaughter in the Syrian civil war.
Do you think that they didn't participate with Assad to make that happen? I mean,
This is a
they were
very
allies.
high-level
They participated.
discussion.
Okay, so then why are you defending them?
I'm not defending
sure
them,
sounds like it.
Ethan. I have already described to you that I am critical of their actions. You are misquoting me. You are
I am
misunderstanding.
verbatim repeating what you
say.
said, you
And I'm having a
liar.
conversation directly with you, so I don't understand.
How can
I'm
you
not
lie to
minimizing
people?
what they
Like,
did.
we
I'm
just
minimizing
watched the clip.
Arbitrary.
It is so funny
because
'cause
number
it's-
that you put there because you don't do.
I mean, what Hasan should do is compare it to Israel because that's just the best way to do it. It's like, okay, has the Israeli military contributed to massive amounts of death and conflict? Okay, but do you agree with other things they've done? Yeah, like, so do you condone them murdering everyone in Gaza?
That was wrong.
That's
I
the
would think
equivalent of
you're
what
right.
he's
You
saying.
said that
That's
numerous
just
times. You
retarded.
actually
I don't
said you
think that numerous
ChatGPT'd
times.
against AB when AB was like, I don't think that's correct.
Yeah. By the way, I that's something I looked into, and I was actually wrong about that for sure.
Okay. Don't you feel like this kind of misinformation is somewhat don't you think that saying stuff like that is going to make people infer that you might be more pro-Israel than you let on?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't,
You mean
it
I'm
doesn't
Zionist?
work like this, right? You're not just like clicking a box and you're like, well, I said it was a genocide. What more do you want from me? Okay, you did. But then you spend all of your time criticizing
Responding to
people
harassment.
who are offering analysis and not justification.
Can I
Oh,
flip it
true.
on you a little bit?
Okay, true. He's cooking again?
Can I Hasan, you're doing it. You're doing it again.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just
Yeah, but
I'm
Eugene will
just
concede
hoping
that,
to
but
explain
Hasan
to you
will
something
never
so you
willing to
recognize that
concede
you're
a
wrong, as
point.
you've done
No, you
twice
don't
now,
need to
so
explain
this is
anything
Well,
to
no,
me.
he
I
would say he
understand your
doesn't
point.
agree with
Don't you? So you're accusing
that
me
in
of
the
being
conflict.
irresponsible with my words.
He basically
Don't you
already
think
did.
saying you have no issue with Hezbollah makes people think you're pro-terrorist?
I don't care that people think this. It's
Oh.
ridiculous.
So are people valid for thinking you're pro-terrorist when
Do you believe
say?
the state? Do you believe the State
Answer.
Department's designation for
Answer the
terrorism is valid?
question. Is it reasonable for people to think that you are pro-terrorist when you say I have no problem with Hezbollah?
Do you believe the State
answer the
Department's
question.
designation
You
for
gotta answer that
terrorism is
one.
valid?
You answer my question, and I'll answer yours. Are people valid?
Ethan,
and considering
you rely heavily on
Dude, he's gotta just stop being a lib.
not
Just say
really
yeah.
understanding
Yes.
the terms that you are using.
Let it be
Yes.
noted. You are dodging.
When you say, "Oh, Hassan defends terrorists,"
I'm a terrorist because
there's
I'm
a reason
an
why
Arab.
you say that. You say that to
You literally just
disparage
did.
me without actually addressing my arguments. And now, when you're faced with me, face to face,
God,
to
bro,
talk
you're
about
doing it
these
again.
issues, you agree with me. So if you agree with me, you called Hezbollah a noble group. Should I
In
just
the beginning,
run around
shit
being like Ethan
changed.
defends terrorism? Well, I think you do, but
I
for a
said their
different reason,
actions
and we'll
were
get to
noble.
that in
I
a
didn't call
second.
them a noble group. Again, you have a problem with the truth.
You just said that their
I said their
inception was
actions
a
were noble.
noble one.
Yeah.
You said Hezbollah was.
It's different from saying Hezbollah is a noble organization. But I really need you to answer this. Isn't it reasonable for people to assume you're pro-terrorist if you say stuff like, I have no problem with Hezbollah? Just answer the question.
If you wear a
Yes or
T-shirt
no?
that says "I
don't
love
think it's reasonable
terrorism,"
for people to assume that I'm pro-terrorism because I think people are going to assume that regardless because I am.
But people can assume I'm
presenting a
Zionist.
position.
But it's okay for
What?
it's okay for people to assume I'm Zionist.
Yes.
Got
Because,
it. The logic
no,
is
you don't
clear.
understand what I'm
Because
saying.
you're
I get why
Jewish.
people assume that. I get why people assume
I get why
I'm
people
a
assume you're
fucking
you're
pro-terrorist.
pro-terrorist.
Yeah.
This
Do
is
you
so
feel-
retarded,
okay,
dude.
let's
This is
talk
so
about that then.
annoying.
Do you feel like someone being branded pro-terrorist
It's good, but it's
is
like
as
they just
impactful
loop
under the Trump
too much,
administration as
but it's
someone being
good.
pro-Israel is?
Well, as someone who's been branded as a pro-Israel Zionist in my space, it is a horrifically fucking it's resulted in the unbelievable, unprecedented. I've been on the internet for 10 years, right? I've been through all kinds of controversies, all kinds of shit. I have never once in my entire life, Hasan, experienced the amount of harassment, the organized, psychotic campaign to try to ruin my life, all of my all of my employees' life, my family's life, their family's life. This is your community acting in response to what you're saying about me being pro-Zionist. So do I think it's worse? In my experience, it's much worse.
My community that's done any of these things that you're talking about.
Okay, Hasan, can I ask you a question? Why the fuck were you browsing H3 Snark the other day and pulling clips from that?
Ooh.
I don't know, someone
Getting
fucking
personal
sent
again.
me a clip in the chat.
Okay, and
It's
so
getting
you shit and
personal
pissed about me
again.
pulling a meme from Destiny's subreddit. I have
Ethan,
never even
look
pulled
to
the
your-
subreddit up, but you're on stream browsing H3 Snark. How do you explain that?
Ethan, your entire subreddit is a snark subreddit dedicated to me. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's literally not true.
I
but-
I don't have a single issue at this point.
That's probably
what are
true.
You talking
It is
about?
probably
Your
true.
entire you have personally moderated your own subreddit to turn into this, by the way.
What?
So many people that
Again,
have
you're lying.
criticized you from your own fan base have
Hassan,
left your
you
community
said your
for this
community has
reason,
nothing to
because
do
you
with
can't take a
this.
fucking ounce of criticism from your paying members. How many
Is that
people
real,
are like, I
Richard
love Teddy
Pennison?
Fresh. I have so many fucking pieces of Teddy Fresh clothing.
crazy.
Now I feel embarrassed to wear it because look at what he has become.
There's plenty of
dude,
fans.
Jimmy.
Don't worry
That's the heart
about
of this
that.
problem. If you want to talk about it, from the perspective of psychoanalysis, the real reason why
Hassan,
you've gone on
you
this
are
endless
lying.
vendetta
You
is
said-
because you can't comprehend
Jesus
the
Christ,
reality.
bro. I just want to have a
that your
conversation. I don't want to
audience-
just
your own
gish
audience that
gallop
you've
forever.
cultivated has a difference in opinion in the way that you've presented yourself throughout this
Hassan,
conflict.
please
And if
let
you
me just talk.
demonstrated-
This is you say
if
your
you demonstrated
community has nothing to do
fraction-
with the harassment that I've received.
Ethan, if you demonstrated-
please,
Ethan,
Hassan, let me finish a
listen to
point.
me. If you
Hey,
demonstrated
dude, you
a
gotta let me
fraction-
finish a
I'm just-
point. This
I'm
is
gonna mute
ridiculous.
you. I'm gonna mute you and just keep talking. If you
Okay,
keep
that's
doing this.
great. I think that means you won the debate.
Yeah. No.
W.
Listen to me.
So I'm not
If you
muted.
demonstrated
So
a
hold on, let me
fraction of the
finish.
humility-
You gotta let me say something.
If you demonstrated a fraction of the humility you did just
You gotta
now,
have a moderator.
most people
This
would
is
not have
terrible.
left your community,
Say
by the way.
I don't care that they left the community. That was obvious.
You definitely do.
I've got plenty of fans left. Don't worry. Here, listen. You claim your community has nothing to do with the harassment. Yet you said in the same breath that your chat linked you to H3 Snark, the subreddit primarily
he wrote this
responsible
one
for
down.
coordinating that harassment, and
He
you
wrote
pulled it
that
up
one
on your
down.
stream.
Do you have evidence that H3 Snark called CPS on you?
Did I say that?
Like random anonymous
Did I say
Redditors?
that?
Wait.
I said they're
I think
primarily
he has
responsible for
said that.
harassing me.
Who called CPS?
What the fuck? So I don't know. Did I claim they did? You're dodging, bro. You are
think he
absolutely
did.
dodging. You claim your
I don't
community
know.
has nothing to do with the
Power
harassment.
Channel Live
Yeah,
slash
you were
JimboZoomer.
browsing
Support the show.
and
Keep it on the
now,
air. We got
let me
10
ask
minutes
you this,
left.
son. How many times have I browsed the Destiny subreddit? on my-
Stop talking over each other. It's so bad, please. Dude, I have autism and it's overwhelming me. I'm getting the tingles.
I show.
Have blamed CPS.
No.
And now you're claiming that my community is responsible for
Stop
it.
talking over each other.
I think it's the tone. No, bro, what is wrong with you? Did I say your community called CPS? The harassment campaign is
You're
a much more
inferring
broad
it.
than
Yes,
that.
you're
Absolutely
inferring
not.
it.
You can't address an actual issue, so you turn it into you're straw manning. Basically, I'm saying your community
Bro,
is
Reddit-
responsible for this participating in this harassment campaign. You said chat sent you this link, did they not?
Yes, last week. What are you talking about?
Okay, so your chat is involved with H3 Snark, which, by the way, funnily enough, the new Snark page is called Leftovers H3, and it's got a picture of you
thank
in the
for giving it
avatar.
a shout out. Shout out to Leftovers H3.
It's got a picture of you, Hasan. You don't need to shout him out. You're already doing it. Don't you think that's
wait,
odd?
You did it.
No, I think it's.
Also, what do you think? Like, you. First of all,
I called
do you
the
think I have
KKK on
any
Ethan.
say on what fucking
Hey, I got
happens
a
in these
drill.
subreddits? What are you talking about?
But you have a say what happens in your Discord and chat, which you absolutely do not moderate. And there's so
this
much
is gay
evidence
now.
of the disgusting shit.
That's also completely fucking
Well, why did you
false.
criticize XQC for not moderating his chat when you called in?
Ethan?
Why
I can't believe you
did
would,
you
I can't believe
criticize
you would bring this up. Here, let me tell
XQC for
you,
not
okay?
moderating his chat?
Yes, XQC has actively used his community over the course of many years at this point, as he was, doing Gamba and wanted to fucking keep gambling and
not
felt
answering.
bad that I was criticizing him to attack me. Okay?
And that's different than what your community has done. How?
What?
How is that different than
It's
your
like 3
community
a.m.
attacking me?
You're saying on HPV.
You want to know how it's different? I have an 8-minute.
Yo, what are these? Okay, this is so boring. I'm just looking through from Morgan and gave it. I'm just looking through my Discord. What is this? You're saying on HPV from Morgan and gave it to Brittany. Brittany's got HPV from Beards and Beardly. That's crazy. And she gave it to Destiny. Dude, I'm wearing the same shirt in that. Destiny picking up Beards and Beardly sloppy seconds. After Brittany picked up Morgan Ariel's sloppy seconds. That's how STDs spread, kids. And that's how STDs. That's Morgan why you wear protection. To Brittany, to Destiny, to Nick, to Jimbo, to Veda. The whole place has. Yeah, and then Destiny gave it to Nick. Forgot about this. And then Destiny gave HPV to Nick. Yeah. Oh, here.
7 inches. But he reported most were between 5.
Oh, dude, I hate when that happens. Fuck, I hate when that happens. Okay. What else? React. We got 8 minutes left of the show. I gotta play some donos. This got too boring. Chat, what do we think of the stream today? I felt like it was good. It was great. The Twitter space, fantastic. And then, great start to this. And then it fell off about 35 minutes ago. I think the last 35 minutes have been kind of weak. What is this? Are these furries? What is this? Okay. All right, next. Let me play these donos. Power Channel Live slash JimboZoomer. If you enjoyed the show, we only got to 64% of the way through the dono goal because I was an anti-white piece of shit. Now everyone hates me. Now all the rich people with money hate me because I was so anti-white and I was an asshole. Didn't know Works was a furry. Yeah, I know.
Jovian sent $5 worth of pulp.
Thank you, Jovian. For that, let me see. What's on Twitter?